Hello and welcome to another small screen Star Wars. As always, I am Julian Mush. I'm joined by Rachel Wilkinson.
Hello.
And we are going to be talking about Andor Season 2, Episodes 10 through 12, the series finale, the Season 2 finale, series finale of Andor. And it's going to be an interesting experience because it's both sad and exciting.
Right.
All at the same time. And of course, we're celebrating a very special day today. Also, can you guess?
No.
Okay, I was going to say, are you going to read the notes and like cheat? But no, it's George Lucas's birthday.
Oh.
He turns 81. He turns 81
I would
years
never cheat. I'm an honest.
Oh, yeah. No,
podcaster.
of course. Yeah, of course. Don't read the notes.
Yeah.
God forbid.
Hey, if you sent them to me beforehand, maybe I would.
I don't finish them until right before we start.
I know.
So, whatever. It takes a long time. All right. So we are, again, I said, talking about Season 2, Episode 10 through 12, titled Make It Stop, Who Else Knows, and Jedha Kyber Urso. These are directed by Alonso. This is going to be a tough one. Ruiz Palacios. Alonso Ruiz Palacios. Mexican writer-director known for a cop movie, Narcos Mexico, and La Coquina, which I'm not an expert in Spanish, but maybe Cocina. Might be just cocaine translated in Spanish.
Cocaine?
I don't know. Also written by Tom Bissell and Tony Gilroy. Tom Bissell, known for one of my favorite video games ever, Uncharted 4. Also the TV show The Mosquito Coast, which is I think a TV rendition of a movie called The Mosquito Coast, which I think stars your favorite Tom Cruise. I'm pretty sure, but don't quote me on that one.
For a second, I thought you were going to say Tom Hardy, and I was like, oh, I love Tom Hardy.
No. The better Tom.
It's Tom Hardy.
It's Cruise, obviously. Batman Arkham Origins is another one that he's written, and The Disaster Artist.
Oh, The Disaster. Wait.
Yeah, The Disaster Artist.
The original?
I don't know.
Wait.
I don't know. What is the disaster? Like?
No, okay, no. The Disaster Artist is the kind of like background story parody of The Room, is it not?
It could be.
Like
I don't know. I don't know the movie.
Oh, hi, Mark. Like that guy who funded his own...
The Room, which is that's a really... Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, he's the guy who funded his own movie, and he's like super weird in it, and
this is a 2017 comedy drama.
Yeah, because it's got, what's his name in it?
The incredible true story of aspiring filmmaker and Hollywood outsider Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, it's James Franco, right?
Okay,
or Dave Franco. One of the Francos.
As he and his best friend defiantly pursue their dreams and embark on the hilarious odyssey of making the now infamous cult classic, The Room.
Yeah, The Room. It's a wild movie. There's like so many weird lines. It's
like one of those things that it's like you go and you watch it and it's like a whole experience.
Yeah, it's exactly. That's why it's like a cult classic, right?
Yeah.
So cool.
Anyway, yeah, he's that's the writer Tom Bissell. So before we get into that, I'll just mention a couple things. Head over to towerofbabel.ca to find everything else that we do. The schedule going forward will be as follows, give or take. Next week, bonus episode, we're going to do Rogue One.
Okay.
The story's not over.
It is not over. It's just beginning, actually.
You're right. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that. So last week, I did my notes based off of the recap written by Dan Gavosdin for Decoding TV. I did that again this week.
Okay.
His little log line for his recap was, every new beginning is another beginning's end, which is, of course, a line from that really annoying song.
Another beginning's end.
Yeah, the closing time.
Yeah, closing time.
Yeah, which is I've heard maybe 1,000 too many times for my liking.
Yeah, at every bar, always.
For all time.
Yeah, and every dive bar.
They're all susceptible to it.
Yeah.
Eventually, someone will play that at any bar. Every bar has heard that song played to close, and it's not a good song, in my opinion.
I think it's a song.
It's a fine song.
I like it.
It's not enough. It's not good enough to be played that many times.
It's very 90s.
I'll speaking of songs that are good that don't need to be played that many times. The NHL playoffs, weekly NHL Jets check in. They lost their 2 games on the road to Dallas, which means they're now on the verge of being eliminated. They need to win 3 in a row. Unlikely. But
we believe.
There's,
Julian,
that's
we
right.
believe.
Anything can happen. That being said, the Sportsnet broadcast, I don't know what is wrong with they signed this big deal. They've got all this money apparently, but they only have 4 ads that play on repeat over and over again. And one of them is the NHL playoffs are here, and it's the "Lay It on the Line" song. You know that song?
No,
and
I don't watch a lot of TV or commercials, so
lay it on the line. Anyway, that's how it goes, and it's a fine song, but I feel like I'm trapped in some sort of hellish nightmare of having to hear it over and over and over again multiple times, probably upwards of 10 times per game.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of times.
Yeah.
So, anyway, they played yesterday. They'll play again tomorrow. If there is a game 7, it'll be Monday. The chances of them interfering with any of the recording going forward is slim to none. But we'll see.
So back on track. When are we recording next week? Bonus episode Rogue One?
Presumably Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Works for me.
And then following that, Tales of the Underworld the week after.
Okay.
And then a break. We're going to take a break. The regular show is also on break, and I'm going to use that time to figure out how to get it all started again.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. If you want to help support this initiative, head over to patreon.com/TowerBabblecast. That's BABBLE. And for as little as $5 a month, you get access to our bonus film club, which is on, again, pause with the regular show.
Is it not Rogue One?
I guess it could be Rogue One. Yeah, we could just do Rogue One. Yeah, let's just do that. Perfect. That's great. We'll just do Rogue One. That'll be not exclusive, though. It'll just be for everyone. Bonus podcast for everyone.
Early drop for, I don't know.
Yeah, I could maybe. We could.
That's probably.
We don't.
If you're pausing things right now, anyway, maybe.
Yeah, we don't need to do
for that.
And I'll probably pause the Patreon payments next month anyway. So that is all to say. That's what's on tap over at TOB. There's this summer is going to have a lot of big movies, and I do want to cover them.
Okay.
I did see Thunderbolts the other day, and that's the new Marvel movie.
Oh, I don't know.
And it's basically a movie where it explores depression and anxiety.
Oh, interesting. Is it good?
It's a good movie. It's the best Marvel movie in a couple years, I'd argue. But it left me certainly in a pretty downer mood. Not I think that's what they were going for.
Okay,
but
fair enough.
Ultimately, I was like, man, I came out of that, I was like, wow, I am bummed out now. But it's okay. That's what we talk about this all the time, and I'm going to make this a core element of this week's episode of this podcast because it's all about what you feel when you're watching this stuff. Otherwise, what's the point, right?
Yeah.
And I'll never shut up about the empathy machine analogy because I just think it's the best description for what makes for good entertainment. So we'll dig into kind of all the thoughts and feelings, not just of us, but also of the characters as we go through the recap in just a moment. Okay, so let's get into it. We didn't miss anything last week, so that's good.
No, look at that.
Actually, you know what? That's definitely not true. I didn't have time to think about what we might have lost or missed last week. If you're aware of something that we made an error of, please, towerofbabblepodcast@gmail.com. I'm happy to say a mea culpa at some point. Season 2, episode 10, Make It Stop. The logline is as follows. Lonnie Jung. Is it Lonnie Young? Or Jung?
Young, I think.
Taps.
Jung?
It's a J.
Jung.
Taps out. Lonnie. We'll just call him
Lonnie.
Dedra closes in. Luthen scrambles. Kleya delivers. Season 2, episode 11, Who Else Knows? Cassian returns to Coruscant for one last extraction. Season 2, episode 12, Jedha Kyber Urso. Cassian returns to Yavin with intel that will change everything. A lot of returning for Cassian over these 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay. Overall thoughts.
It's just so good, and I'm so sad it's over. I feel like I was even surprised that we got new info, right? We got some backstory stuff about Luthen, just backstory about Luthen
the back
and Kleya was kind of neat. And so I don't know, I feel like there's even still room there to tell more of Luthen's story about how he
100%.
So I mean, that's nice that there's maybe room to see these characters in some other medium.
Was that digital de-aging that they used on?
Probably. I don't know.
Because it was like pretty good. He looked obviously much younger
he
than
did.
Yeah. And it could have been really good makeup potentially, but I suspect that there was some digital de-aging going on.
It's quite easy. They just put those little like markers on their face.
I don't think it's quite easy.
Well,
I think that's I think that's overstated.
Whatever.
Because
easier than it probably has been.
Okay, but the deepfake stuff for Rogue One, which is obviously the best analog for this.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's like 8 years old now, so it didn't age well, but it didn't look good then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the Tarkin deepfake and the Leia deepfake were really bad.
Even at the time, I didn't think it looked that bad.
Everyone really hated it. I still argue that like Tarkin needed to be in that movie, and I still think he's a great villain. Better
than like the opposite, which is like having a weird actor who's not them. Or
I disagree. They recast Bail Organa, and he was fine.
And in this, yeah.
So I would have been. And then like if he's gonna have a big role, you can easily just recast someone like Tarkin. Peter Cushing's dead.
Disagree slightly. I feel like in a show, it's easier to recast than in a movie, and I don't know why I feel that way, but.
We're talking about an actor from 1977 who's been dead for like 20 years.
Okay,
I think you can
fair.
Recast that character.
I just don't think the deepfake was that bad.
What bugs me about this, which is like I guess very true to Star Wars in some ways, but also not in another, which is that they could just go back and fix it, like the deepfakes with Luke in The Mandalorian and stuff. Not great. Also, the mouth movement stuff especially is bad. Yeah. But you can fix it. It's better. We have
better technology.
We can go back and improve it, which of course is a mixed motions in Star Wars because you have the original trilogy, original release, and then the re-release, which everyone's like, "Boo, this sucks," which is like partially true because that also doesn't hold up well. Some of the effects that they added. Yeah,
it like takes, you can tell how CGI it is because it's like early 2000s CGI.
Lips on a stick? Come on. Anyway, so there's like a lot of that stuff that like I feel like if you wanted to have like a more cohesive franchise, you could go and like make some slight alterations. Now, obviously that's nitpicking. You don't have to do that. It's like just use your imagination, whatever. But like if it was just to use my imagination, I could just imagine anything. I'd go and do the work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I mean,
Rebels, they should just just use. They have all the voice work. Just completely redo the animation.
I don't think it's that bad.
It's such an important story. It's referenced like it plays an important role in this Andor stuff.
I know.
And it just looks like hot garbage. Every time I see it looks bad.
It doesn't.
We're gonna play a clip today from Rebels, and you're gonna see.
If for anyone who hasn't seen it, it doesn't look as bad as Julian is saying.
But the thing is that they already had the Clone Wars stuff looking better, and then they went and changed the animation style, and they had to because they were time crunched and they didn't have the same budget. But it's like it's clearly inferior to the Clone Wars animation style. Like it's obviously
sure, but I just think like I can watch it just fine, and I'm not like sitting there mad about the animation.
Man, I rewatched that episode last week for that Mon Mothma like connection.
Yeah,
and I was just like so disappointed in how bad it looked the whole time. I was like, man, this sucks compared to like how good we're now at the stages with Lucasfilm Animation, where it's like,
well, yeah, compared to that. But I mean, when was Rebels actually released?
Again, there was already a better product available at that time.
Fair enough.
In the last season of Clone Wars that they had done before they did move over to Rebels. So I don't know. It bugs me. I know they need new assets and all that kind of stuff, and that's why they couldn't do it.
Wait. Rebels came out before the last season of Clone Wars.
Yeah, it did.
It did.
But
okay.
The season, the last season that they had released of the Clone Wars up to that time, which I think was season 5.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Still looked better than Rebels did.
Gotcha.
When it came out.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to argue about this because
we're here to talk about Andor and how much we loved it.
There's so much to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, to backtrack to that, I just loved it. I loved everything. I loved the way I felt about so many things. I loved a lot of the character arcs and how they were tied up. It's a lot of it is just like so good. It was very.
It hits.
Yeah, I was just glued. I was glued to the TV. It was awesome.
I listened to a interview with Tony Gilroy on the podcast The Watch. It's a pretty good podcast. So I'm not gonna lie. It's another one of the Barstool Sports. Whatever. Not Barstool Sports, but anyway, it's like one of like a big chain. And it's like hard to compete with them because they're like have so much money compared and like a massive staff and like producers and stuff. but it's a good show. And they did this big long interview with Tony Gilroy, and there's lots of insights. I hope to share some of them as we talk through this. He's kind of in a weird mode about this kind of thing because I think he's pretty like glad that it's over.
Okay.
He has really mixed up emotions. It seems like from like the original plan of doing this for 5 years and then being like, wait a minute, we can't do this for 5 years. That's too many years. And then deciding on this new thing and then really liking what they came up with and being happy with how it wrapped up. But I think ultimately he's kind of like, he wants to get back to making something new. Yeah. Which is fair enough.
I think there's probably a lot of pressure when you're doing Star Wars content too, as a writer and director and everything. Like I would imagine that there's a lot of weight to it, and when you see the way that the fans react to some of the other projects that have happened.
He's pretty insulated from that stuff.
No, I'm sure, but I guess I just feel like that would kind of just be in the back of your mind a little bit of like, what if this flops? Like, some of these fans are toxic. Like, do I even want to do this?
Yeah,
right?
I think
like I don't want to keep doing this because like we're on a good run and like it can only be good for so long.
He did talk about how when he was brought on to Rogue One, because obviously Gareth Edwards was the credited director and was like brought in. He did a lot of like shadow directing of that movie and like rewriting stuff on set. And he said that he felt like there was a lot of like animosity towards him. Like people, not everyone wanted him there.
Gotcha.
But it was through that he became super good friends with Diego Luna.
Oh, okay.
So it's crazy. So it's like a whole thing. Like they became like really great friends. Yeah. Basically the whole time.
That's
and
nice.
So I'm excited to get into this because like there's so many bits and pieces. But I am kind of resigned to knowing that there isn't ever enough time to say all the things that I could say about the show. Every time I listen to a new podcast or I read a new article or a new review or hear someone else talking about it, I'm like, oh, that's such a great point. And I always think I'm like, oh, I did notice that or I did see that too, but it's like I didn't have a chance to bring it up or I'd slipped my mind and it's like, oh man. But it's just too much. And I think in another world, this would have been week to week and we would be covering this show for 12 weeks. And that would have been its own grind. But it would have been a lot of fun to like really unpack each episode and like each moment because it's so deep. And we didn't even have time to rewatch it this episode.
No, I know. Normally I love to do a rewatch every time, like get to watch everything twice. Just didn't have the time.
And so I mean, you have to work with what you're given. This show of all shows seems like one that would be, would really reward multiple viewings.
Yeah.
And so for my money, I plan to at some point, like even the first season, we went back and rewatched that before this season, and it was like really invigorating to like see it without having to like think about all the fiddly bits all the time.
Yeah, you just get to watch because you don't have to.
If you also like notice other smaller things.
Yeah. When you already know the story that's played out, you can focus on other
looks
things.
for others. And so I think this whole season especially I think will be especially rewarding for a rewatch. And then I think like in terms of like it is designed to perfectly fit into Rogue One in like such a not obviously, but they did say, Tony Gilroy did say that it was in their intention. They from the very beginning had the vision of the Cassian's walk to the ship and the he said, hopefully not in slow motion. It's like the walk to the ship and the montage of all the final players already in his mind at the very beginning of when he was writing it. And that he wanted it to like fly, have them fly off into Rogue One and kind of recontextualize that movie. And so I think it does. And so I've been intentionally holding back on rewatching Rogue One. I know a lot of people, especially recappers, have gone back and rewatch Rogue One to provide that extra context, but I don't want to do that. We're going to talk about it next week.
Yeah. I like that. I think that will add more to our episode next week.
Yeah. Do you what's your feeling on Rogue One now, having not rewatched it recently? I think you already said not as recently. Having just seen these last 3 episodes.
What do you mean? What's my feeling on it? Like, am I excited to watch it again?
No, I'm just like, what's your like in retro? Like now, having the full context of this whole story, like what's your opinion on it? Where do you...
Like I guess it feels like a lot more even like complicated, right? Like it's still so funny to see. Like we're gonna get to it, but the like the infighting within the rebellion, right? Like in all the little like nitpicky ways that they're wanting to do things, but it's like kind of the arguing amongst themselves. So like that's so interesting to see too, and you know that like little bit of like animosity towards Cassian and like how he does things like differently, right?
But understanding that I guess that's like carried over from like a mistrust of Luthen.
It comes from Luthen, right? Because they're like, oh, you're like his errand boy. You just come calling when he wants you, right? Like that's kind of how they see Cassian a little bit, where you're like, we can't control you. You're this, you know, rogue.
Agent.
Yeah, you're this rogue, hence Rogue One, right? But yeah, you're this kind of rogue guy that we can't really control. And is this helpful or is it like a hindrance, right? So, but yeah, I feel like it's fun to have all the extra context to go into Rogue One with. So I think it's going to be interesting to see that from a new perspective.
And like there's an element of like, it's fun from a like OCD perspective to have a story like this that fits perfectly into Rogue One and which fits perfectly into New Hope.
Right. It is.
So it's like,
nice.
That is and like, that's like not relevant really like at all.
Yeah.
In any serious way. But
no, I would say not that it's not relevant. It is just kind of fun to get these like in between pieces. And, you know, I do think there is still space for some more in between content, even between the years of this show. Right. So, it wouldn't be, I don't think we're going to get like animated or live action, but it might come out in comics or books or whatever else. I think we've said that before.
Yeah. And like a lot of that, some of that stuff gets rewritten. I mean, the introduction, I mean, my understanding is that the K2 introduction for Cassian is completely rewritten from the comics. That there was a comic about it,
okay,
and then it's been rewritten by the show.
Yeah,
and then like so that's the tiered canon format that Star Wars has taken.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
Unfortunate for the comic book writers.
but like also
they probably know that.
You know, also that's not their creation ultimately. Like Tony Gilroy, and not just Tony Gilroy, but created Cassian Andor. Yeah. And then it's kind of his baby. So he's like kind of given free reign to like make those changes.
Ultimately, like he should get to decide that. So, I mean, unfortunately for the comic book writers, not a huge percentage of, you know, media Star Wars fans.
Oh, it's like a fraction.
Yeah.
There's
my husband is one of them, but
it's just so hard to keep up with weekly comics.
Right? I don't know how he does it. I
also don't really enjoy reading stories that way. It just feels so disjointed.
Well, they do come out with like the
trade paperbacks.
Trade paperbacks eventually,
and that's fine. And that's my preferred method of reading comics. I have some behind me.
That would be mine too, but I don't think I'm ever going to do that because we now have hundreds.
And so there's the other thing. The other way I like reading comics was Comixology, which is like dead now, which is sad. Amazon bought it and then basically killed it.
What was that?
It was this like app that you could have on your iPad or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they had this thing called guided view. So it would like zoom in on parts of the panels and then you would like
cool.
and like it would like guide you through the story in like a more like artistic way.
I like that. Yeah. So it's kind of like a video version of reading it with you. Or
like a motion comic that you have kind of can do on your own pace. And then if it's like, okay, going to start in, and then it'll pull out for a splash page and be like, you get the big reveal instead of like seeing the page and then focusing over here.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's fun.
So I really like that. And you could buy like individual comics for $1.99 on the app. And it was great. And then they killed it. So
Bummer.
I think there's still a way to get guided view in some form or fashion. And like, if you have like a modern iPad, that would be like, because then you get a big bright screen and like high definition art. That's cool. But like, again, ultimately, I just prefer a trade paperback and ultimately prefer, you know, movies and television over that stuff anyway.
The time it takes to read books for real.
Yeah. It's like, it's not that it would be bad. It's just that like the effort of getting them and also reading them is a combined effort that is more difficult than sitting down in front of your television.
Every week Adam
has his pull list.
Goes and reads his comics.
What's the which comic book store?
Shit. They're called Mighty Comics.
Okay.
They were on, well, it doesn't matter. They were on Corden across from the falafel
I remember,
place.
yes, I
but
remember.
They're near our house now. And
that
moved back.
I remember that
great.
location across from the falafel house was like maybe the dingiest.
It's so tiny, but that guy's so great.
Is he? Yeah. I thought it's like, man, can you try turn a light on? Like, like anything. You just, it just was the least welcoming comic book store experience.
What
you
really?
could ask for.
See,
I thought so.
I
From
found it
visual perspective,
so welcoming because he was so welcoming, and like I've had issues.
You need a little bit more than that.
Yeah, okay, it's different for me. I've had issues as a woman going into a comic book store and literally getting treated like the comic book guy in fucking Simpsons.
Oh, that's funny.
Like getting treated like shit, and because you're.
I see you don't know the order that you're looking for.
Exactly, just like being a dick for no reason. And but no, like the guy at Mighty Comics, his name is James, and he's
plug for Mighty
awesome.
Comics.
Yeah,
friend of the show.
He's really great.
Anyway, Star Wars comics too hard to keep up with. Respect those who do. I usually find out about the lore that those like drop through YouTube videos. So
yeah, fair enough.
Sue me. Okay, so it's over. Andor's done. I guess the question is, how do you feel about the package, all of Andor as a package now?
It's just so good. Like it's actually just phenomenal. I mostly like no notes. Like there's nothing.
Yeah, there really isn't much.
I feel like they tied up so many things. There's maybe like a couple little things for me. But
are you bummed that we don't find out about his sister?
A little, yeah. I would say a little. It's kind of. I feel like she's probably like dead.
She's 100% dead.
Yeah.
So I mean, not 100%. That's my guess. So Tony Gilroy in that interview mentioned that like it's one of those things. He was like, it works for the character better for that to never be solved.
Yeah.
And I 100% agree.
Yeah, he just doesn't
sometimes you just don't get to know things.
Yeah, and it's. I don't know. Everything is just so, and I would say even like the tiny little things I'm curious about, like don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I'm just a busybody, and I like to know everything I can about all the characters that I've been introduced to.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it is nice to be able to get that check in, even with
Perrin.
Yeah,
that was kind of enough. I was like, okay, like he's whatever.
He's depressed, I guess.
Just doing his
just drunk and depressed or
crappy guy thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that was good. But then and then, I don't know. We'll get to it. I think we'll just get to it as we get to it.
There's lots to cover. I will say that it's just my idea for this is to cover all of the fates of these characters before we get into the recap, because I don't want to wait till the very end to cover it.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll get into that in a second, but I'll just say that I feel largely satisfied by the show's ability to tie up its loose ends, as you mentioned, and set the stage for Rogue One in a really tidy way.
Yes.
There's a really nice sense of closure having Cassian like jet off into the opening scenes of Rogue One.
Yeah.
And I guess I can't wait to rewatch that and kind of like feel the weight of all these things, because ultimately it just provides all this in the same way that you can hear Obi-Wan talk about the Clone Wars in A New Hope and kind of get that little ping of like, oh, I know what he's talking about, and it kind of adds to the emotional stakes. And talking about Anakin or what, all those things. It just, the prequels gave you that extra little bit of context.
Yeah.
And not just context, but emotional attachment to those characters. And then that gives you this, like, you carry that with you into these new things.
Yeah.
And so in classic Star Wars fashion, a prequel to a prequel gives you that same new context for Rogue One. So you get to think about, Luthen and Dedra and all these people that like were a part of this complex and high stakes part of the rebellion. But like, if you think about it, all that work went into it, and the war hasn't even started yet.
Yeah.
So it just really, I feel like it gives you this like really strong sense of like understanding of the complexities involved that when you're dealing with these big movies just does not have the ability to get into, and that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just so well done.
Yeah. So I guess we'll get into this specific arc itself and away from the actual show, but I agree that there's really no notes. The show is like perfect. Like it's as close to perfect as you can get from like a concise 2-season miniseries.
I can't even like pick out like a least favorite episode out of them. And like usually there's like, like that episode falls flat, or like
they're all
this one
great. Feels
like a, we don't like to use the term, but like a filler episode, or there's none of that in this, right?
Well, they don't have time for filler episodes. There's only 2 seasons. It's like, let's move.
And I think it's also the way that they drop them too. Like because when you're getting all 3 arcs all tidy,
you're basically
like
getting a movie every month.
Yeah, like you don't feel like you're on like a weird cliffhanger, or that like nothing happened in that episode, right? So I would just say that, yeah, there's like, I obviously have favorites episodes, but I don't have any episodes where I would be like, oh, like I didn't really like that one.
Yeah, my favorite, I think, at this point is episode 9 of season 2. That's
Gorman?
the escape from... No, that's not... Gorman Massacre is episode 8.
Okay.
Episode 9 is the escape from the Senate. And Tony Gilroy was like... Because someone else had on that podcast I was listening to mentioned that they're like, oh, my favorite episode is probably episode 9. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I agree.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, so you just like Born in Space then? Like Jason Bourne. And it's
Born
like,
in Space.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, actually, I do. I love Jason Bourne because, of course, he was a writer on that.
Yeah.
And I love that episode. It's just so propulsive. So there's some favorite moments for sure. This 3-episode arc, hard to like live up to that like climax. This is really just table setting for Rogue One to some degree. But it's also like wrapping up these characters that aren't in that movie.
Yes.
So you need that closure.
And that's the thing.
Too.
It's so satisfying to get that, and like the different levels to it. Like I love how all these characters get tied up, and it's so fun. Like the different ways that they do it are just fantastic. It's not all like boring, cut and dry. Like it's all so dynamic and different, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, not just keep referencing this other podcast, but Tony Gilroy talks about how there is this interesting dynamic between television writing and movie writing. He got to both do movie writing, which is like requires like concise storytelling, but also long form television writing where you get to spend a lot of time with these characters because you kind of got a little bit of both, especially in season 2. So that like, I feel like that really hits home in a way that doesn't. I mean, I think for me, I'll get into this in a second, but I want to read this quote from Dan Gavazin. I didn't read a lot of quotes right from his recap last week, but this one really stuck out to me about this 3-episode arc in particular. Dan writes, more than anything, this batch serves as a transition to the events of Rogue One, which, in the typical Star Wars style of telling stories backwards and out of order, recontextualizes the film as the true ending of Cassian Andor's lifelong growth into the messenger that the galaxy called him to become.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is, I think, totally spot on, but also what a great new way to look at Rogue One, which in some cases, you know, when for the longest time, up until now, basically you think about it as, oh, it's the movie where they steal the Death Star plans.
Yeah, yeah.
But now it's more like Andor's like last hurrah, which is like so much more, I'm not more interesting, but like certainly as interesting.
It's like what he was destined to do. It's what he was meant to do. It's like his story.
What a great recontextualization.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's
okay, so ultimately sad that it's over, you know, but like the classic like wake line, which is like sad that it, you know, that it's over, but you know, glad that you had those moments at all, right? Yeah. So and truly in this case, because I just think that, you know, as the kids say, we were really eating, but this is some of the like this is so good. We have no, I think like it's so good that we kind of like don't deserve it. It revitalizes my love for Star Wars in a way that like I wasn't ready or expecting. And I guess so we've kind of looked at it as a series to some degree. We'll probably have more opportunity to do that as we dive into all the characters and their fates. We've looked at it a little bit as the 3-episode arc that it is, which is satisfying but not exciting necessarily in the same way.
Okay.
And then as we look at it as the context of the franchise, where does Andor fit, and like how does it, speaking of recontextualizing, how does it recontextualize the whole series of Star Wars and where it's going? I feel frustrated because this is so good.
Yeah.
And everything that we hear out of Lucasfilm is that this was made in spite of the fact that the franchise as a whole wasn't really prepared to handle this or deal with this or go into this direction.
Okay.
And that like Lucasfilm proper doesn't necessarily love the work that, you know, this work, because it doesn't, you know, it kind of is so at odds with the franchise as we know it, as this kind of space opera concept. And Tony Gilroy's, I think, specific, like, I don't give a shit about the lore attitude What did you say? You're like, how does he keep not knowing anything about Star Wars?
Because you sent me the
quote about from his son.
His son, you're like, oh yeah, my son's a big Star Wars nerd, and he came in and was like, well, how are you gonna deal with the rebellions are built on hope line? And Tony Gilroy's like, what are you talking about? Doesn't that already come from somewhere? Like, he doesn't even know. His son's like, no.
So funny.
He's like, no, you should figure that out. So like, that's where that whole
I also think that's funny because it's like
came from Andor, like the bellhop or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
but also like, they didn't
that line.
They also could have just not addressed that, and it would have
No,
been
they didn't have to. Like, that could have just been something, Cassian.
Yeah, but we talked about it last week.
But
so
it is just I find it so funny when some of these, like, to him to really have no. Ooh, that scared me.
It's okay, Winston. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, just for him to have not that he doesn't give a shit, but like to not care to go back and watch anything else, or like not have like huge Star Wars knowledge on something is just fun.
Yeah. No, I agree. Winston's gonna go run off and make some noise.
Yeah.
He wants to make his presence known on the show.
He's a big boy.
He's a big scaredy boy mostly. Mm-hmm. He's such a good dog today. He got some treats from the store. There's a bar down the street, and they always give him treats every day.
So cute.
Yeah, and
I love that.
He gets so excited to like every time we walk by it, he like sits in front of the door and like waits, assuming that there's going to be treats coming, and it doesn't always come, and it's like really sad.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no treats today? Oh.
Is it just one specific person who gives treats?
Usually, but sometimes if you're lucky, the villain person will also do it.
Yeah.
And then they get to learn and say, "Oh, Winston's here." And then, it's nice.
It's adorable. If I owned a small local bar, I would do the same thing.
Yeah, you gotta be dog friendly as much as possible. In Calgary, there's bars you can go to where you can take your dog inside.
Yeah, there's a lot of breweries like that.
And I want to own one of those.
Yeah. There's weird laws here
about that. Yeah, I think about serving food.
Patio dogs.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah, no, but then in the winter, you can't take them anywhere.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's like, it really feels like, if you want to go out in the winter, you have to leave your dog behind.
If they're a service animal, you can. So you can just do that thing where you lie.
Yeah, I got last year at Pride, when we went to the Forks for like to hang out and stuff, there was like a beer gardens.
Yeah.
And we were like about to go in there, and then someone's like, "Oh, you can't go in there with your dog unless it's a service dog." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a service dog." He's like, "Nice, okay, yeah, go ahead."
He just knew you were lying.
Yeah, but he's a good dog. So
yeah,
I have thought about getting him the vest just because he is such a good dog. I feel like he'd get away with it, but
it's just bad when people do that with their shit.
Yeah, I know, it ruins it for the rest of them. I know, I get it, I understand.
Like know your role. I don't know.
Well, just like understand like whether or not your dog is capable of being in public in that way.
Yeah, exactly.
And if not, either train them more or don't take them into public.
Don't be a dick.
I'm just very lucky to have a dog that's very good in public and just loves people. Speaking of good boys, B2 is back in this.
If we talk, I'm gonna cry.
He's playing with the other droid, and he's like, "Well, let's just go again. I win." Oh my god,
it's so sweet.
Everyone was like, "I really hope that Bix goes and lives a happy life with B2," and it was like, and then they do that. It's like, oh my god, you fuckers!
Yeah,
I sons of bitches.
That got me. The whole ending there with B2 and Bix, that got me more than anything got me in this whole series. Yeah.
I
did.
Bix leaving him was much more sad for me than finding out that he had a secret baby.
This adds a lot more context to why she left, though.
I guess. I mean, we have to.
Are you kidding? She knew.
You think she knew for sure?
Yes, and she knew that if he knew he had a baby coming,
he would have stayed.
He would not. He'd be done. He'd be taking her and the baby, and they'd be gone.
And he would have convinced.
And she was like, "That's not your destiny." But also, like, not cool to not tell me as a baby boy.
Not cool.
Yeah,
certainly.
I was like, he deserved to know he's.
It's a boy for sure.
I don't know. I just assumed.
It's kind of hard to tell with babies. They all look exactly the same.
But he's like, that's
a cute baby. But I mean,
I cried. But I mean, babies get me. So
yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
For me, it's droids that are like dogs, and for you, it's babies. Yeah.
But also droids like dogs get me too. Yeah, he's playing. It was like two dogs playing with each other. It was
know.
So cute. Love it. I love the ending for that. That's so great.
Honestly,
and he would be ecstatic about baby Cassian.
Oh my god. 100%. Do you think? Okay, if it's a boy, Cassian. If it's a girl,
I don't know.
Cass.
Cassa? Cassidy.
There you go. That's also a boy name, isn't it?
That could be, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, unisex name.
Yeah.
Non-binary name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, as I said, largely satisfied, yada, yada, tied up loose ends, but frustrated by the state of Star Wars as it exists now. I am prepared to be proven wrong that they can learn the lessons from this show and are willing to take bigger swings.
With the Ryan Gosling movie?
With the Ryan Gosling movie.
We'll see.
With
it's on deck.
whatever, with Ahsoka season 2.
And the Mando movie.
The Mando movie's done, and it's going to be, it is what it is. It's already done.
Yeah.
But in just going forward,
yeah.
I think the two things that I would say, like, most important, if I were to sit down, consultant for Lucasfilm, big Star Wars fan, here's what you need to know. Give your projects more room to breathe. You don't need these 6, 7, 8 episode series are not long enough.
No, yeah.
It's too compressed. It doesn't give you time to care about any of the characters. It becomes a mission in trying to deliver clunky exposition in short time frames. And unless you're really, really, really great writer, it's really hard. And then instead, it comes across as like an 8-hour movie, which is not a satisfying watching experience, especially when split out over week to week.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest one. Give these both episode runtimes.
Yeah, right. They've got everything.
And season lengths need to serve the story. Not whatever budget or whatever it is that serve the story first. And then
you absolutely cannot be giving us 8 episode arcs.
30
and
minutes.
Some of those are 30 minutes. Like, you can't do that.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's like, again, it works for animation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, that's just different.
It doesn't, but it doesn't, it's not effective. And you're trying to bring in you do live action because you try to bring in a larger audience. And I feel like it's like actively repellent to those fans. But we're like, I can't get into this. It's so stupid. It feels so rushed. It's like, and like, so, I sympathize. I mean, we got a lot out of all the last live action Star Wars shows, but in comparison to this, it's like, it's dog shit. It's like, it's like, no offense, but it's like, it just looks like amateurish in comparison. So, and then I guess the second big thing would be characters. Characters have to be first, and then take those bigger swings, because if you have characters that people care about, you can do interesting, exciting things, and it doesn't have to break the bank. It can just be character based. Yeah. Right. And then lastly, this is kind of like a third thing, but bring politics back to the forefront of Star Wars. It's war is in the title. You don't have to shy away from it. Don't worry about the people calling your show woke or whatever dumb shit. Just tell the stories that resonate in that are timeless and can resonate. And so, and oppression and overcoming those things, and the elements of the political elements that relate to those things are fascinating.
Yes.
Do they have to be as dull necessarily as like trade routes and trade blockades? Not necessarily. No. Right? But there's a middle ground. So we don't know essentially almost anything about the New Republic government and why they were so ineffective in the visual mediums of Star Wars. There's stuff written about it in books and yada yada and all that kind of stuff. And ultimately, it's kind of like hangover trauma from the 30 years of imperial rule and what that did to society. Right. It splintered everyone. It made everyone angry and distrustful, and that led to the fall of the New Republic. But we don't really get to see any of that. They blow up the Capitol in episode 7. Yeah. And like, you wouldn't even know, basically. Like, who cares? We're with Han. It's like, okay. So that's not to say that those movies are bad or that there's not ways to tell big, sweeping stories and like space epics and all that kind of stuff. But you got to get back to what works. And that is, solid character-based storytelling. Yes. Okay. Question next is, does the show live up to its title? Like, how do we feel about this as Cassian's journey versus kind of like the bigger context of like the rebellion and all that stuff? It is his story. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with calling that his story, because he is such an integral part of, how everything happens, with
the Death Star plans and all of that, right? Like you can see how important he was in getting all these pieces together to like line up this storyline, right? So we're allowed to have characters in Star Wars that we can focus on that like aren't Force sensitive.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So I think that's kind of refreshing in a way too. Like it doesn't always have to be about the Jedi and the Sith in Star Wars being like the main focus. It's you can have
that was what Episode 8 was trying to say, but no one was ready for that. No one was ready for that message.
It's like, we were excited when we had the beginning seasons of Mando, and not just the beginnings, but because that was a different story. It was different characters to care about.
But there was Force stuff.
There's still Force stuff
Baby
in there.
Yoda is like Grogu is like anyway. That's the through line to that stuff. You're right. But, it can be more than that. And that's not to say, but like it also should also be that.
Yes.
And so I understand people's were like, this isn't Star Wars. This is just space. Born with Star Wars trappings on it, and it's like, cool, okay, fair enough. That's not for you, fine. It's definitely for me.
Which is a wildly odd thing to say when so many people gripe about like, I can't relate to this character. It's like, okay, you can't relate to like regular people rebelling against like,
or my kids can't watch this show.
Yeah, sure, but like, I don't know. There's
that
a lot
one feels like to me like
it's dumb.
There's all different sorts of types of media. Not every piece of Star Wars media needs to be made for kids. When your kids are older, show them the show and help them understand concepts of like freedom to choose and like all those kinds of things that this show is like directly talking about.
There's always going to be an age that your kids are at that they can't consume your favorite content. Like I'm not going to take my 2-year-old to go see episode 4, like it's because he won't care. Like it's just like you have to wait at some point for your kids to get to a certain age where they're really gonna like something or be interested in it or appreciate it, and that's a fine thing. Like this chunk of a story isn't integral enough to be worried about like, I don't want my 7-year-old
but I would say that what you're missing or not taking into consideration is that so many people want things to be made just for them.
Yes.
And it's like,
I get it. Star Wars is for kids, and it is, but we can have stories outside of that.
No, it's for everybody.
Yeah, it's for everybody.
That's the whole point. So I think in this context, it's like, okay, here's a story that's more mature.
Yeah, and that's all right.
God forbid, right? And so, and in this rare case, it's like, oh no, they did make it just for me. It feels like, kind of like, and so I got to have that moment, and there'll be another thing that you'll get to feel that way about in the future. Hopefully, I won't hate it.
If you're super worried about kid content, Young Jedi exists.
Yeah, Young Jedi Adventures. Yeah, exactly.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's for toddlers. Literally, though, it's okay. And also the Resistance, which is also for like younger kids.
Which is wild because that's the only one I've never watched. Like I've watched Young Jedi Adventures.
It's really hard to watch because it feels so disconnected from everything else.
I should try.
But it's got some elements. I went and watched the episodes that are like the most connected to the story, like the sequel trilogy that are most directly connected or feature Poe. Some episodes feature Poe.
Oh, okay.
And stuff like that. So, and that's cool. And Hux is in like a couple. But largely, the animation style doesn't work for me.
I think that's part of it for me, too.
The ship design is really... I think the ships look great in that style, but the people look terrible. So that's the problem. And also, if you can understand that the animation style doesn't work for you in that, but you can't understand why the Rebels animation style doesn't work for me, I don't know. On the Andor front, I think it does, too. It is funny to call the show Andor because he just wasn't that big of a character ultimately.
Yeah, but what else are you gonna call it?
Star Wars Rebels.
I mean, that is
kind of taken.
Yeah, it is kind of taken. Like, unfortunately,
or you could have called it Star Wars Rebellion, or like, and you could have like, or who knows? But it is a character study ultimately. So of not just him, but all of these like cast of characters around him.
It is hard too because it's like season 1 was much more focused on him, I think, than season 2, right?
Yes.
So like season 1 definitely was like Andor, like we're with
him. There's a whole arc where nothing goes, like he's just in prison.
Yeah, they're after him. It's all about him, right? So that is part of it too. Is like season 1 was very like a lot more focused on him. So, but again, it doesn't bug me. I think it's good. I just think I remember coming into this thinking like, wow, a show called Andor. That's gonna be a tough sell. And it turns out that was true because it was hard to get people to actually
watch the show.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess that's true. I kind of, you're right. When we think about like when we first heard it was coming, we're like, oh, like, okay, like he gets his whole own show. That's kind of wild, right? But hey, it worked, and it worked really well.
Yeah.
So,
he does find his place. Tony Gilroy talks about in that interview, which I'll continue to reference, that he wanted to. There's this infamous letter that he wrote to Kathleen Kennedy, basically saying, listen, I don't necessarily want to do the show, but if you're going to do the show, this is what it should be. And one of the main things from that was basically like, you need to take Cassian and make him as different as possible from the character we knew him in Rogue One. And then we get to experience what takes him from being this completely different person into the person we know him to be as this hero.
Yeah.
And I love that because it reminds me of something that Rian Johnson said about writing episode 8, which is that he's like, he looked at how JJ left things off in episode 7, and he was like, what is the most difficult thing that each of these characters would have to go through? How can I like just torture these characters, right?
Yeah.
Like, and make it really, really hard for them, because that makes for compelling, to overcome that makes for compelling storytelling.
Yeah.
And so it's very similar in that way, which is like, what was he like, and why was it so, becoming that person requires going through a lot of change. And the only thing that makes you go through that much change is like a lot of trauma.
Right. Yeah.
So we get to see him go through all this trauma, right? Of this kind of selfish person who is really only looking for his own ends at the beginning of season 1 to this joiner at the end of season 2, to the point where I love this moment with Kleya, where he's like convincing her to go with them. He's like, I'm not leaving you behind. He's like, that's funny that you should say that. Weren't you the one who told me that you wanted out? Yeah. And he's like, yeah. And you convinced me that was stupid.
Yeah.
So here I am reminding you that like what you're saying is also dumb, and we need to go. So, so that's good. I think it is, it's worthy of the name. How would you feel if this was week 4 of a week release and we were only at the beginning of the second arc?
Yeah, that would be kind of wild, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like
it's hard to even conceive.
It is, because I do feel like the pacing would feel a lot different, obviously, because it is so different, right? So it's hard to know whether the pacing would have felt good.
I think it would have worked. I think it would have worked because I think thinking back at each episode was so individually great.
Yeah.
That, as a whole, it's better to see the whole arc at once.
Yeah.
But that would always have been something you could have done anyway.
Yeah.
Rewatching and
binge watching. Yeah, exactly.
In a week-to-week method, I mean, would the question, which is impossible to know because it's like the true what ifs, like how would it have affected the show's viewership? Would we be ramping up into more and more praise for the show? We're 4 weeks in, we've done one arc,
right?
Or would people be like, it's too slow, and like they talked about in season 1? And it's hard. There's no right answer to that.
Right.
Ultimately, they went with we'll give you week to week, but we're going to give you a movie each week, and it's going to be the full thing.
You can split it up how you want.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so I would say like also it is different between like people like us who want to watch that all in like the day it drops, right? So we're in like that category of people, whereas like
normies.
I work with Regos and Regos, and they like, ask me all the time, like, oh, even
better
today.
Than being an Uggo.
Yeah, Regos. They're asking me today. They're like, oh, like how much? Like, have you watched all of Andor already? I'm like, yeah, of course,
obviously.
And then I ask them, they're like, oh, like no, I've only watched up to like this part or up to this part. I'm like, I can't even talk to you about shit. I
think what's crazy was when people are like, oh yeah, I watched half of an episode. It's like, you watched half an episode?
That is a psychopath.
That's wild. Or like, I watched 1.5 episodes. It's like, what do you mean?
I can only see that so I get it. It's a different dynamic. Like a guy I was working with today, he's like, oh, like I've only seen one. He's like, I wanted to watch like of this last arc, but like he's like, my wife can't stay awake for them.
Oh yeah.
So he's like, she falls asleep.
I do get that. There's a lot of.
And then like she misses things, so he's like, it's too hard. So we just watch one because if I keep watching, then I've watched half, and she's watched half, and I have to do this.
That's
so
funny.
I'm like, that makes sense. So he's like, we just do every week. They do like one a night.
Kara falls asleep every time we try to watch the show.
Yeah.
So, like every time. We've discovered this new word on Instagram. It's called nappetizer. which is something that you do before you go to bed.
Okay,
you have a nap on the couch before you go to
Adam
bed.
and I do that.
Yeah,
all
an
the
appetizer,
time.
and so it's the perfect appetizer show. If you're if you find it slow, I don't find this slow. Like I find it like
it's like super
very
engaging,
gripping. But I can understand why people could find it slow. I will say that it does make me sad for, like, I guess media literacy in like the the broader scope. It's like, if as a person if you're just a person who watches the show and is like, boo, this is boring. It's like, then I'm sad for you because I don't know what you think is
interesting.
Yeah, it's like what's good to you? Like, if this isn't good to you, like if this isn't interesting storytelling to you, and you like Star Wars already, right? Which is like the Venn diagram. Then like, I don't know. Then it's like that again. It's like, okay, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but like, man,
how do you not like it?
That sucks for you because this is great.
Yeah, that's weird. That's
You're missing out.
Odd. I feel like those are very outlier opinions, and
I don't know. A lot of people I know I've tried to convince to watch the show, and they're like, I find it too slow. And it's like,
oh, interesting. Oh, but like, are they Star Wars fans in general or not really?
Like, they're like most people, which is like, I like Star Wars. I've seen all the movies, but
I
don't
like TV shows,
I don't really care that
so
much to like tune in weekly.
Have they watched Clone Wars?
No. Is that your like litmus test?
Because I feel like if you are,
that's a tough sell.
If you will put in the work to watch all of Clone Wars because it's so long,
I think that's not fair, because the season one of Clone Wars is so hard to watch.
That's fine.
It's so hard to watch. The B1 battle droid like puns are like nonstop in the first season of Clone Wars.
I know they are. I'm just saying, if you're like down to sit through all of that, then that tells me you have the attention span.
But there are people who've done that, and then they come to Andor and like, nah, not for me. And it's like, okay, well, again.
But yeah, I mean, I just for sure, maybe it's not for everybody, but I don't find it that boring.
I know that it's a very like snooty like position to take, which like, if you don't like this, then like obviously you have bad taste. But like, I do kind of feel that way. Like, a part of me feels that way.
Everyone's got things that they like. Like, I always think people are crazy when they're like, they don't like The Office, because that's like a show that I kind of grew up with.
Yeah, but I have a good reason for not liking The Office.
Do you not like it?
I don't like it because I get hardcore secondhand embarrassment.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I can't handle that.
Yeah, that's funny.
That.
So yeah, like, there's just certain things that some people are just like, just not for me, and that's
that's fair. That's fair.
I get it.
Not everything is for everyone. I will just say that, like,
I'm gonna judge you silently.
When we always talk about like taking shows for what they like, meeting them where they are, or like I talk about that a lot. This is a great example of like, this show set out to do something specific, right? Tell the story about Andor, and then also this larger connection into Rogue One and the Rebellion.
Yes,
and then have this commentary on rebellion in general, in the face of totalitarianism, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This show executed on what it tried to attempt with near perfection. So whether you don't have to like everything, but you can appreciate like when it's really great, like really great craftsmanship, and this is that. Yeah, so far, like, I haven't had anybody tell me that they like didn't like the show. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's move on to the remaining survivors. We'll just cover off on them, or not even the survivors, like the fate of everyone. Yes, yeah. Or at least the ones that I thought about, that we thought were gonna die. Yeah, yeah. And again, just like on this 3 episodes, it really feels like both this interesting thing that's a coda to the rest of Andor, right? Andor has all this thing, and then this kind of feels a little different. It feels more like Rogue One. Yeah. So it feels more like Rogue One. So it has this great like place setting feeling for Rogue One, but also being this like end kind of PS to Andor. So I think that's cool. And then I think generally speaking, this arc I don't normally feel, or I haven't felt in this prequel, the tension being robbed by plot armor. But I did feel that a little differently about that in this. It felt a little less thrilling, quote unquote, because in the extraction of Kleya, she's the only one that doesn't survive, or doesn't. We don't know her fate for Rogue One. Oh yeah. So it's like, well, we know where they're getting out of this apartment, no problem. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like so, like, and so that kind of feels a little frustrating because we leave off with Kleya, and although that's an interesting, like, she lives, and we'll start.
Yeah,
with
like
that.
I will always say when I was watching that whole scene, I was like, I don't know if she's going to make it out of this. Like, I thought she was going to end up having to sacrifice herself to save the other ones, right? To save the other two. So, yeah. So I mean, like, to me, it was still. It's not like it was ruined, or it's not like it was
no. And I think her presence there keeps the tension a little bit, like, from being completely undercut. Like if it was just Melshi and K1 and K2 and like that wouldn't work. But like so it's both good and bad. Well, like it can undercut tension in the action moments, like with Kleya specifically. Yeah, but it also provides compelling perspective on these characters as we set stage for Rogue One. So it works. So. Who survived, or where does everyone end up? Kleya lives. Yeah. Which I'm excited about because not only do we get a backstory from her in this trilogy of episodes, but we also now know, and also that she was my favorite character. I've come to the conclusion that she's my favorite character from this, especially season 2. I liked her in season 1, but season 2, she's like a whole, like, she's just so committed to this, right?
She's just so good at her job too. Like, she's just everything she does is what's the word? It's just like to the point. Like, she's just so good at it. Like, she's like a Cassian too. Like, she just goes in and gets shit done, knows what needs to be done, and takes care of it, right?
But closer to Luthen, so more like Luthen in her like way of thinking. Yeah. The young actress who plays her does such a good job of like recreating her mannerisms and stuff. It was like, I was like, that's really like the young version of her. Really cool.
Really good job.
And the big forehead and everything, like everything about it works.
Forehead?
Yeah, she has like a large. Anyway, yeah, like her face looks like it has the right face shape, and like she looks. They did great casting for the young Kleya. Yeah. Okay, so, I've just seen a lot of people like echoing my feelings about Kleya being the best.
Yeah, she's great.
And a standout character. And like many people's favorite. I'm not here to claim that I said it first, but I will I will say that.
You did say it.
And I've been saying it basically since the very first episode of season 2 that she's like really great. Yeah. And I'm just happy that we got to see. And so like now there's a potential for new stories with the character.
Yeah, that's true.
Like what does she do with the rebellion? These could be told in books or in comics or in in other mediums. Who knows? Kleya could return. Will she? Unlikely, but I would not be opposed to it.
Yeah, we're not going to get Kleya a Star Wars story, but
no. It's just like her knowing that she was there to see the destruction of the Death Star, and then the beginnings of open war against the Empire. It's just like her perspective on that would be so interesting compared to like all the gung ho, like rah rebellion stuff that we get everywhere else. Yeah. She talks about when she's in her like flashback, like she's like, when's the time to act? Like when can we? Yeah. When can we fight back? Yeah. Right. And now is the time. Yeah. It's like, okay, we've finally reached the time where you can fight. So what does that mean to her? She's like, you actually have your chance. She spent all these years believing that she would never get that opportunity, and now here she is. What does that mean? We won't know, but it's cool to leave off on that thinking, like, who knows where that could end up. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of who else lives, let's talk about Bix and her baby. We talked about this a little bit already. She's living in a safe place, as we found out, as Andor was told in this episode. He's like, don't worry, she's safe. She's safe, yeah. And she's on Mina Rao, which does two things. It's nice because we get to go back to B2, as we mentioned, but it also proves for a shadow of doubt that they weren't betrayed in the first arc, that they were just put in a bad spot. Yes. So she goes back to those same people who were kind to her. Yeah. And it's empowering because you get to see her kind of take back ownership of this place that like carries a lot of trauma for her. Yeah, absolutely. She seems so at peace. Yeah. There, when she's like standing there in the wheat. Hard to not feel at peace when you're standing in a wheat field. Yeah, just being able to gaze out and like her little baby like cooing and looking around. Like it's just so sweet to see her have that peaceful moment because she spent so much of last season and this season like traumatized and terrified and running and hiding and scared, and it's just nice to see her safe and happy and Yeah, 100%. Like, there's nothing really to add to that.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is that maybe one day she can return to Ferrix. Maybe
Ferrix is still there. I don't know.
I'm just saying that maybe that she doesn't want to go back. I'm just saying that is her home. She obviously has a connection to it.
True. Yeah.
She could reclaim that also, right? Yeah. It's like she's now reclaimed Rena Rao. She could reclaim Ferrix once the Empire is gone, potentially.
Yeah.
I would, we never, do we go back to Ferrix? I don't think so in season 2, right? We don't know the fate of Ferrix.
We never go back. Like, after the riot happens, we don't see it. Nothing.
So you have to assume that after the riot, they really clamp down. Yeah. I'm thinking
unless
it's like Lothal situation.
Yeah.
Where it's just really under the iron grip. So
do we think that Vel knows about the baby? Does Vel know that she had a baby?
You know what? She probably does.
Yeah, and just isn't.
Or maybe not. We don't know. We can't say for sure.
She knows she's safe. She'd probably know she was super pregnant at some point.
But
you never know.
Maybe she only knows where she went.
That's true.
And so she doesn't know anything else. I think Vel doesn't seem like the type that would lie about that.
Yeah,
I think she would say. Because she's like, you should get back. She was like, you should get back with her. Right?
Yeah, she is. She's saying, don't take too long, probably because you have a fucking baby.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I think. But
I think that line, also meant because she took too long with Cinta. I think that's part of that line.
Yeah, right. She's like, she missed her chance.
Don't take too long because you could not have a lot of time.
But he will miss his chance. It's
that's
like, which is that's kind of that's a part of that last shot. Because remember, we were saying, will we ever see Bix again? Yeah. And we'll never get to see her reaction to finding out that Cassian's dead. But we can imagine it. But we can imagine it.
I can't even think about that.
But imagine finding out, he died, but he died doing this specific thing.
Yeah,
that was
you'd be so proud, but you'd be devastated that your kid can never meet their dad.
Maybe
who's such a hero, this person that you loved, right?
Yeah, for sure she'd be devastated. I obviously
either way, it is,
but there would be this element of not vindication, but just kind of understanding that I knew it. Yeah, I knew he was destined for me.
Absolutely. She would be I did the right thing. I don't think she would ever
feel vindicated.
That's what. Yeah, that's what. Not that it needed to happen, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, She would get closure for both the future of that relationship, which couldn't continue because he's dead, but also her feelings being proven right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And it's classic Star Wars stuff to have an orphan baby.
Always.
Yeah.
This is now not the second, but
okay. So by the events of the sequel trilogy, he would be this baby would be 30 something.
Mm-hmm.
So
pretty similar in age to Jason Syndulla.
Oh yeah, actually,
within a year or so.
Same year, born same year.
Yeah.
So hard to within give or take a year and a half. Yeah. I would say.
Mm-hmm. So pretty close in age. Yeah. The other orphan.
Imagine. Okay, so you get
a Jason Syndulla and whoever
and
Andor.
Cassian Jr.
Meet up.
Little adventure. That would be so funny. Yes, perfect. Also, who was born at the same time?
Who? Maybe something stupid.
Yeah, Hux.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's his name? What's his full name? Armitage. Armitage Hux.
Oh, okay.
He's the mole, but then he dies in that movie, so it's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all the same age. They never had a chance to be friends, but I guess you leave. If there's a baby, the door is always open for there to be stories. About them when they're older.
Yeah.
Right. So. All right, so that's Bix. Anything else you want to say about Bix?
No, like I said, I was glad to see her have this peaceful, happy life because she deserved that out of most of these characters. I think she went through some of the worst trauma, and I think she very much deserves
well earned.
Oh yeah, a well earned retirement on farmland.
Yeah.
With the
extended, leave for her on
extended maternity leave. Yeah, with her dog droid. Yeah. Exactly.
Sick, living the dream. All right. Dedra Meero I want to talk about next because I actually wrote her name first, and I was I can't put her name first. I have to do Bix and the baby first, and then we can go to Dedra. So Dedra, we find her in a Narkina 5 prison cell.
At the end. Remember when you thought she was going to be disillusioned by the end?
Well, she was, just not in the way that
I was like,
puts her
I
in
don't
any
think she's going to like
she is disillusioned.
Turn. Yeah, but she doesn't like turn and go to the rebellion.
You're right. I think...
Man, what does he call her? Not a rat, scavenger. When he calls her a scavenger. For information because she's like reading stuff she's not supposed to. And it's just like, holy shit.
Right. It's like, okay, it's not my fault this stuff was sent to me. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Not read it?
Yeah.
And so, and so there's some like karma, poetic justice here. I guess like, where do you think, like, what's going on in Dedra's mind through this arc? In your opinion, like, where is she? If she starts really high, thinking she's finally closed in on Axis.
Yeah, right? But again, she's kind of doing like too much, right? She's going after him again when she's probably not supposed to be, or she's obviously
she wasn't supposed to. It wasn't her. It wasn't.
Goes after him by herself, messes it up. So it's just like, and it's that typical Empire thing of like, if you mess up even a little bit, you're done, you're out, like. There's no space for failure. No.
I have a whole diatribe written about this.
Never.
I'll just do it now, which is that like in the Empire, we think about the Empire as just being very inhumane in general.
Yes.
And so like I was going to write this about Partagas, which I was going to write next, which we're going to do next. But like there's this
wild.
There is this like no space for failure. And we see it in the movies with like Vader choking people out for making mistakes and stuff like that. But the thing about humanity is, and you can expand that to all the beings in Star Wars Galaxy, is that like mistakes are human. It is failure is like a part of life. It's
inevitable.
Like, you'll never go through life without failing. But in the Empire, one failure can have you end up in jail
or dead. Yeah.
So it's like it creates this culture of fear, which we talk about all the time. But this like it's like so. It would be so terrifying to be walking on eggshells like that all the time.
Yeah.
That there's just no space for failure or mistakes, and it's like that's just not how people work. If anything, if you had an operative that made a mistake and came out the other side, that operative is now better for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so actually this ties into this other thing that I've been watching all these YouTube videos about World War II Japan, which is obviously also an imperial state.
Yes.
One of the reasons they lost, not just because of the atomic bomb, but is because the way that they had from a cultural perspective, which again can be mirrored by the Empire here, created this like culture of loyalty above all else, right? And honor and all this stuff, and that like to disobey orders is dishonorable, not just for yourself but also for your whole family.
Right.
It creates a similar dynamic of there's no room for failure because you dishonor yourself and everyone you know.
Yes.
So what ends up happening is they don't have any soldiers that survive encounters come back and be like, wow, we fought the Americans, didn't go well, but here's what we learned.
Yeah, you can't learn anything.
There's no learning from the mistakes, because the line from like the American like military general was like, to take a Japanese position, let's say there was 45 Japanese soldiers, you'd have to kill 43 of them.
Yeah.
And the other two would commit suicide.
Yeah.
Seppuku.
Yeah.
So there was like, it was just a meat grinder. These people never learned anything. And not just that, you would have like experienced military veterans committing seppuku and taking all their knowledge with them.
Yeah.
So it's like now you have like nobody in positions of power who know anything about anything, and it just make them more brittle. And we see this, by the way, in Star Wars all the time about like, okay, well, you just killed your captain, so okay, promote the lieutenant, but that lieutenant wasn't ready to take on that role necessarily.
Isn't trained, isn't Well, and that's how they say like these cracks form, right? And not that the disillusionment happens, but it's just like a power like that can't survive because it's again, you're taking
it requires too much effort.
Yeah, exactly. When you're like so hard on them, it's never gonna work.
So my original question: what do you think Dedra's thinking about here?
When she's in prison?
Yeah, then, but also like the whole like being arrested, all that stuff.
Yeah, with her, I just feel like she's this is so parallel to like Cyril, right? Because he gets this like disillusionment on Gorman, and then you see him walking through the crowd just being like, what is happening? And then he just sees Cassian, goes red. It's like, nope. He flips right back to like old cop, and
Justice.
it ends up,
this guy ruined my life.
Yeah, it ends up being his demise, right? And then it's the same thing with her and Luthen. Like, she's so focused on Axis, she's so invested, she can't let it go. She can't let somebody else take over the investigation. And even when she said before, like, she's talking to, was it Hertz or Hertz? And she's like, you can take the glory. And he's like, I don't want the glory. Yeah,
right.
Like,
yeah, okay, buddy.
Right? But it's like she's so focused on this, and she's just trying too hard. And it's like, it doesn't matter how hard you try, because like, if you're failing and if you mess up, like, they don't care about you. It's like she's trying so hard and she's so focused that she's missing things. She missed that Lonnie had her codes. She missed all these little things, and like, they just stack up. And it's like, yeah, like, now you're in an Imperial prison for likely the rest of your life building Death Star parts, and they don't care about you.
I guess they're building a second Death Star.
Yeah, you have no family, you have no friends, you have no partners. It's like you just get to go be crazy and lose yourself again. And when everything you've ever...
tragic.
It is.
To some degree.
But like, I don't really necessarily feel bad for her. But yeah, like, it is. It's so messed up, but that's how the Empire treats people.
Right, but also she was born in that Kinderblock, right?
Yeah,
or raised in that
all
Kinderblock.
She knows.
So she's all she knows. So it's like, she's really just as much of a victim of this as anyone else.
But in the end, she's treated like no other prisoner.
I know.
It's like she's not even in like an Imperial officer prison, like anything nice, different. She's not just like, oh, you're fired. Like, it's like, no, you're treated like any other common criminal.
Yeah, to me, this is the worst possible outcome for her.
Right? Yeah.
Having been raised by an institution, looking for fulfillment within that institution, and then reaching a point where she feels like she's risen above to some degree, only to be shoved right back into the very thing that she thought she was like fighting for, right? Like, she thought she was fighting on behalf of this like righteous concept, and then in the process of learning that that's not the case, she's chewed up and spit right back out.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as justice within the Empire. Because she did all that good work for them, but it's not me, because what did you do for me lately is really all that matters to them.
Exactly. Right? It doesn't matter that Gorman went well and that was your thing. They don't care.
Yeah.
And it's like, even when it's like wild to me that even when she's dealing with Krennic, which is like, that's so tense.
Oh man.
And when he like puts his finger on her head, I'm like, oh my God. And she's like so terrified. And then it's like, oh, like,
but she's still helping.
Still I was just going to say, like, they put her in a cell and she's still helping them.
The thing is,
it's like, it does not matter anymore.
The thing is, though, like Krennic and Hirt and all them, they know that she's an asset to them.
Yeah.
But like, what she should understand is that, like, once they are done using it for that information, she now becomes the scapegoat for whatever failure was there before, and anything that she did that was worthwhile or successful is now erased.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
And that also, by the way, affects Partagaz. So, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, but it is just such a, like, I was not expecting that ending for her. I definitely thought she was either going to die or, have this showdown with Luthen or have a showdown with Cassian or someone, right? Like, I wasn't expecting her to end up in prison at the end.
Well, and it being the Narkina prison is such like the poetic justice is so
such
great.
Good
there.
writing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah,
karma. Yeah,
no different.
Do you think that if she'd given the opportunity, she would have committed suicide like Partagaz did?
I don't know. Maybe if she knew she was going to go to Narkina, maybe she would have tried to like leave or leverage her info.
I don't think she knew anything about that prison.
No, actually, you're probably right. Yeah, I don't know. She's just so like ingrained to like the way that they are. Like, I don't know. I feel like Partagaz definitely knew like, I'm either dead or I'm going to prison. So he was like, I'm out. Like, there's nothing left for me here. Which
is also bullshit too. Because it's like, okay, you're the leader of this organization, and your methodology for dealing with this failure is to essentially execute the head of the ISB.
All your like smartest, or like, like most intelligent, most like rebel focused people kind of at this point. Like, it is wild. Yeah. Like,
I guess if you consider how, like, where the Emperor is at this point, the Death Stars are just about to be completed. He feels like everything's coming up Milhouse. And it's like, they found out, but it's going to be too late for the rebels to do anything about it. But yeah, I
think that's part of it too, is because they are so Death Star focused that they're just like, we don't even give a shit about the rebels. Like, we don't care. Like, about how much info you have, it's all about the Death Star. And like when Krennic is like, why do you think I'm here?
Right.
It's
There's
just
only
like,
one reason. Right.
Like,
what's the word?
Yeah.
Death Star.
Who else knows? Like, it's just like, oh my God. Like, she just knows like they're so pissed because the plans got leaked, or like what got leaked.
Like Luthen, which is a great mirror, she also sacrificed everything.
Yeah.
But not for a greater good.
No.
But for this machine. So sucks to be you, I guess. Sucks to suck.
Yeah.
Okay. Leo Partagas. I love that we catch up to him listening to Nemec's manifesto.
I know.
Is that not the greatest?
It's so
That's like
good.
the greatest thing ever. I was just like, was smiling ear to ear when I saw that. I was like, no
I've always
way.
felt...
Where do they get Nemec's manifesto from, by the way?
I think for whatever reason, I feel like it's been played a lot. Like, it's cycling through like Rebel media and
maybe.
Like, I think that's kind of the vibe, because like even that what's his name, who comes in the room to talk to Partagas at the time.
Oh yeah,
he's heard it before too.
Yeah.
So like they've all heard it, but it is so interesting. Like, I feel like Partagas, like, man, like, you could have been a good rebel. Like, you're smart.
This is what I mean.
But you're evil.
I think
so.
He was just like became ingrained in the system, and the system became toxic, and then it cost him. So I mean, I think there's this interesting, like, what's going through his head here.
Yeah, I feel like he's listening to that maybe for the first time with like new ears, and just because it does seem like he's kind of
the specific part they picked, which has been like.
That
the freedom is a pure idea that occurs spontaneously.
Yeah.
And he's right.
Yeah.
I think he's sitting there, he's listening, he's like, he's absolutely right. And it's like,
he's talking about the cracks that form in the Empire with how they do things.
Right. And we can't, like, there's nothing, no matter, there's no amount of work that we can do that would ever make these people capitulate. It just because it continues to, it's impossible. It's an impossible mission. And I think that there was this idea that he maybe had at one point of this, like, of order, right? And peace and order and all that kind of stuff, right? But this understanding that, like, it can't be done this way, right? It's just like so fascinating to watch on his face specifically, right?
I feel like he's realizing it too. He's just like, they're right about how we run things.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone, like, Dedra's great asset. She's getting put in prison. Like, it's
and like he's talking to his colleague, and he's like, it's been pretty tough. Hey, like this, like, and she's like, it's been pretty hard to fight this, because it's like everywhere we turn, it's more. There's more and more rebels, because they're tired of being squeezed, and it's like, and it being tied directly to the most recent thing that we saw, which is this false flag thing that they did on Gorman.
Yes,
and him being an active participant, and not only that, but being like a gleeful participant, and now him having this like, not only not getting any recognition or credit for that just a year later, but it being so obviously not corrupt, isn't? I mean, it is corrupt, but like, this ethereal, like, it's just like it meant nothing. It was meaningless.
Yeah.
You thought you were doing this thing, it's meaningless. And now it's like, in face of that, you see, again, these kind of pure concepts of freedom. And it's like, oh, I thought that's what we were trying to provide people.
It's like, maybe they have it right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm on the wrong side.
He wonders, I think, at that moment, if he did. And so we get the Andor Hitler moment, because he gets to shoot himself in his own bunker.
Yeah. And I love how what's his name there? Like, he just knows. He's just like, he puts his hand. He's like, no,
it's fine. It's like, give me a moment. But it's like, again, a culture that would understand that is already.
What do you say? Give me a moment to gather my thoughts.
Yeah, gather them on the wall.
Yeah. I knew that was coming. I was like, oh,
I love this, like,
taking himself out,
picking it up and putting it on the desk and like thinking about it.
Yeah.
Cost him everything.
Yeah. Well, because Partagas would know about the prisons, right? I would assume. He's like, he's like, I'm not going there. Like, or he's like, I'm not going to go talk to Vader and Palpatine.
Yeah, and just get choked out or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, they're just going to kill me anyway, because their plans got leaked. So
How great is it though that we can have these conversations out of a Star Wars show?
Right.
That's the real win here.
Good stuff.
Okay, Saw Gerrera, shown to be paranoid and distrustful.
Yeah, I love what Bale says. Like, he's insane. Like, he's just like what everybody else is thinking. It's
100%.
Yeah, we're all saying, like, standing here being like, yeah, he's a nut job, but everyone else just keeps giving him a pass to kind of like do whatever he wants. It's wild, but yeah. I
guess, but he's not really like, it's not a pass so much as like they can't control.
Yeah, they can't control him. Yeah, but it's just like, I love his just kind of like, what? He's crazy. Like, what?
I mean, it's beyond crazy. He's now paranoid to the point of like, it's a whole thing. So I'm going to play a clip here because this isn't not the first time we get a performance with these actors playing these characters having a standoff
right
at Yavin.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play a clip from Rebels, and it's great. Here, let's just listen.
Members of the Alliance to restore the Republic.
Saw.
Your losses today stem from your leaders' cowardice, their unwillingness to take decisive action against the Empire. All across the galaxy, your people suffer while the leaders of this rebellion refuse to act.
Should I shut it down?
No, I want to speak to him.
Madam Senator, I'm honored.
What is your business here?
You ignored my warning about the Delindi relay and paid the price. Now you have confirmation, yet still you refuse to destroy it.
So long as our allies in the Senate have hope of a peaceful resolution to this conflict, I will not risk...
If you continue to allow this war to be fought on the Empire's terms, not yours, you are going to lose.
I will not be lectured on military strategy by a man who has proven himself a criminal.
The Empire considers both of us criminals. At least I act like one.
You target civilians, kill those who surrender, break every rule of engagement. If we degrade ourselves to the Empire's level, what will we become?
There she is! That's the leader the rebellion needs! Where is that fire, that passion, when your people need it most? I hope, Senator, after you've lost, and the Empire reigns over the galaxy, unopposed, you will find some comfort in the knowledge that you fought according to the rules.
That's enough.
What are you afraid of, Senator? The truth?
Return to your duties.
So this scene in Andor, I don't really think holds a candle to that scene from Rebels, which is so much better.
Yeah.
But it's only because it's dealing with, I think, much more, a much bigger theme, which the show doesn't really have time to, it touches on it, but it doesn't really dive deep into, which is this like idea of it's not that we fight, it's how we fight.
It's how, yeah.
Right. And so earlier in this episode, in that episode of Rebels, those themes are stated plainly by Ezra and Kanan. Ezra says that although he knows that Saw is extreme from what happened on Geonosis, it seems to him that Saw is the only rebel leader who doesn't care about all the politics.
Right.
Kanan reminds Ezra that what is really important is how they choose to fight, not just what they choose to fight for.
Right.
Ezra understands that and says he might be fighting the wrong way.
Yeah.
And this is the best part. The best thing about Saw is that he represents this idea of it doesn't matter. If you don't win, it doesn't matter. It's like, it's easy to say, we got to do it the right way and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But as he states in that scene, it's like, take comfort in the moment. Take comfort when the Empire's ruling unopposed that you fought by the rules.
But they might, though. You might feel like at least we fought the right way instead of killing civilians and like doing things the wrong way, right? So, it is like Saw is so extreme on his way where he doesn't care about how it's done. He cares about the results. So he's always been a little more hardcore and a little more, criminal and scary that way. So that's not the way the rebels want to do things.
I do love the moment where he's like, the Empire considers both
criminals. He's like, at least I'm acting like one. Yeah, but he is so intense and he is so paranoid and it's
Yeah, so in this moment, this is the closest we'll get to him before we see him in Rogue One, where he's like really unhinged. And he's basically the same character here. So he's paranoid and distrustful. He's actually more put together in that Rebels.
stuff.
And he's not willing to work with Mon. Mon's actually trying to work with him here. He's like, listen, we know, we know where you are. We know what's going on. Right.
That's even part of it, of him being like, you don't know where I am. It's like, shouldn't they know where you are, dude?
He's like, I also just said that I know where you are. I know you're on Jeddah.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't know I'm on Jeddah. It's like, you're on Jeddah. Like, what do you mean? So he's really hard to work with. So,
but I get it that they're also trying to show us like kind of how they felt about Luthen too.
Yes.
Like they were like, he did similar stuff. Like we didn't know what he was doing. He was too secretive. Like he wouldn't check in with us. But like it was just,
the lesson is that you needed those people.
Yeah. You really did.
Yeah.
And Luthen is the one that like trained a lot of these very, very important people for the rebellion, right? That you have now as officers and captains, right? So it's well, and
not just that, they're like evangelicals. Like they live and breathe this idea of like what it means to be a revolutionary.
Yes.
Anyway, so that clip is from In the Name of the Rebellion, Part 1, which is a 2-part episode that served as both the 3rd and 4th episode of the 4th season of Rebels. And I pulled that from Wikipedia, but it's great to see like the actors reprise their roles for that and then like compare them to what it is like. Yeah, it's a great exchange. And I love how they shoot it in a very similar way with like a really big torso and like bust of
it's like a huge hollow projection of Saw over
but not his whole body, just his bust. Which is
do you know if this happens before or after like the speech we get in Andor?
This is the Rebel speech is before the one we get in
Andor.
The one
we get in Andor. Okay,
Okay, so Wilmon and Drina, they both survive, seen sharing a meal on Yavin. His leg is messed up.
Yeah, he's got a limp.
Yeah. But it's nice to see that he survives, right? He's another evangelical, essentially.
Yeah.
Melshi leading a group of rebels. We know that he's what he does in Rogue One. Luthen, dead.
Yeah.
Dies having given everything, which he said he was going to have to do.
Yeah. I think he knows, like, and he definitely like sacrifices himself for Kleya, right? Like he doesn't want her to go back because he knows, like, now that he knows that they were on, like Lonnie's tail, or closing in on Lonnie, he was like, we're cooked.
Too dangerous.
Right? It's too dangerous. He's like, we're fucked. Like,
we're cooked, as the kids say, but burned, as they say.
Burned, yeah. So, he doesn't want her to go back. He's like, I got it. He's like, I'll burn everything. Whatever he says, right? So, like the comms. But like I think that's obviously him looking up for Kleya, and that's why he's so adamant about her remembering all of the points, because he knows, he's like, I'm not going to be able to give these talking points to anybody. So these are the things. Like, repeat them, like know everything I've told you, right? Because he's very frantic there.
It is. I mean, it's crazy to think. You think of the chain of custody for the knowledge of the Death Star.
And
it's like it goes from Lonnie, or it goes from ultimately from
Dedra's files
to Lonnie, to Luthen, to Kleya, to Cassian.
Yeah.
And then from Cassian to the Rebel Alliance.
Yes. And even they don't believe him at first.
Right. And then they don't even have the plans yet. Like, they just know that it exists.
Yeah.
Which they don't want to believe. Right.
Yeah. They don't even know what the weapon is. They just know there's a weapon.
A super weapon. Yeah. So, and the name Krennic, or not Krennic, Urso.
Yeah.
Right?
Galen Urso.
Yeah. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
It feels like a fitting end for him. The moment where he's like taken off life support is like really sad.
Yeah. He kills Lonnie though.
Yeah.
Which
How do you feel about that?
I feel bad for Lonnie, because he's so frantic, and he just wants to get his wife and daughter out of there.
Yeah.
And like,
what do you think happens to the wife and daughter?
I don't know, man. Right? Like, that's kind of the thing. Like Luthen, like, why can't you? But I guess there's not enough time.
It's the only move he has left, I guess, to play. Like, it's too. This news is so important that it means burning this asset.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Not just to not get him out, but like, I think he would have gotten him out if he could. But he was like, in this case, it's like time. He doesn't. There's no way.
Yeah.
Right.
It's too many people to get out, because he's like, Kleya is probably the only one who can maybe get out.
Yeah.
And that's it. So it's
If they had all left and headed for his Hallcraft like right away, maybe.
Yeah.
Orson Krennic, Vel.
Yeah.
Seen dining with Mon Mothma, the final montage. Still active in the rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the thinking about like all these characters that are like now in the background.
Yeah, right.
Of these like you could be like, oh, maybe she's just off screen in
exactly.
and, like, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of fun.
Doing something else, right?
Yeah.
Like doing another mission, another whatever.
Right.
But there's all these little battles that they're fighting too. It's not just the big ones. So.
Yeah, and then Director Krennic, he appears in his Death Star, his Star Destroyer, overseeing the final stages of the completion of the Death Star, which of course we see also in Rogue One. And then we see Perrin, who drinks his sorrows away in the back of his fancy car with some random woman.
Is she random? I thought that was what's his name's wife?
She's not a sex worker?
No, I thought it was Draven.
Oh, is that Draven's wife?
I thought that was,
That's crazy.
I could be
If that's
wrong.
true, that's crazy.
I could be incorrect.
I like to, you know what? I like to think that that's what it was. It's
I couldn't be incorrect, but
his sister-in-law.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. But like they're just still boozing and partying, and like that family's still taking care of them. Him and his daughter.
I had kind of thought of it more like
as a sex worker. Yeah, it could be that too.
Yeah, he's kind of just like
I'd have to like see the actors side by side to.
I think you might be right about that, but either way, I prefer. That's my headcanon either way now. Yeah. I also like, and now my headcanon is that he's having an affair with.
And that wouldn't be his sister-in-law. It would just be his.
How's that work?
It's because it's your in-laws.
It's your in-law.
It's your child's in-laws, so they're not really related to you at all.
No,
there's no.
Yeah,
that's like Adam's parents to my parents.
There's some sort of term for
his daughter's mother-in-law.
Okay, so we're gonna speed through the recap here because we talked a lot about this.
Yeah,
unfortunately, the recap itself isn't that. There's like we don't have to cover too much ground. So I will mention a few things that happened in parallel, or at least in the same year, 1 BBY.
Right.
The rebel mission to Mandalore occurs. Sabine Wren and Ezra Bridger rescue the former's father, Ulrich Wren, from an Imperial prison. Aided by the Spectres, several Mandalorian clans unite and eliminate the forces of Imperial allied Mandalorian Governor Tiber Saxon. Sabine Wren passes on the Darksaber to Bo-Katan Kryze, who leads as Mandalore.
Right.
Of course, this all ties directly into the events of The Mandalorian.
Yes.
Season 2 and 3. Interesting there that it's all happening at that same moment.
Right.
At some point afterward, the Empire would launch the Great Purge of Mandalore, destroying much of the planet and its people, with survivors scattering throughout the galaxy. The Imperial forces were led by Gideon, who eventually seizes the Darksaber. Grand Moff Tarkin informs Thrawn that his TIE Defender program has been halted in favor of Krennic's Project Stardust.
Right.
Considering that the loss of the TIE Defender program would outweigh the loss of Hera Syndulla, Thrawn leaves Lothal to the incompetence of Governor Price to plead his case to Emperor Palpatine. Kanan Jarrus mounts a rescue of Hera Syndulla.
Right.
And in this rescue, Kanan is killed, sacrificing himself for the rest of the Spectres. Ezra Bridger enters the World Between Worlds. This is basically series finale of Rebels is happening during these events. Enters the World Between Worlds, saves Ahsoka Tano from Darth Vader's blade at Malachor with the former Jedi's guidance under the eyes of Morai. He then, that's the bird, and lets go of his master as Tano did hers, resisting the temptation to prevent Kanan Jarrus' death and thus Darth Sidious and the dark side of the Force. Parting ways with Tano, Bridger returns from the mystical realm and rejoins the Spectres. The liberation of Lothal occurs. Ezra Bridger lets go of the Force illusion of his parents, defying Darth Sidious' ploy before sacrificing himself to free Lothal, the planet, and the people who cared about it from Imperial forces under the command of Thrawn.
Right.
Together with Thrawn, Bridger is taken by a pod of Purrgil to Peridia in another galaxy, which of course we see in Ahsoka. And then Jason Syndulla is born on Lothal, and Armitage Hux is born on Arcanus. So there you go. That's all happening right before Open War.
Yeah.
Episode 10, Make It Stop. This episode opens with Luthen and Kleya receiving a red alert signal from the ISB mole supervisor Lonnie Jung. They meet in public on Coruscant, a big park. Lonnie warns Dedra is assembling a team to capture Luthen, and then also has some big explosive intel. I love how he's like, get to it, man. Like, if this is so big, tell me. And he's like only willing to trade for his safety. The Empire's energy program is a front for the Death Star. The Gorman Rebellion masked the extraction of calcite from Gorman, and the occupation of Jeddah is for kyber crystals, not to eliminate the partisans. Orson Krennic has been building a weapon for over a decade, and Lonnie mentions a name, Galen Erso, the eventual architect of the Death Star's flaw. So all these kind of so it's the energy program's a lie, the calcite was a resource, Jeddah for kyber crystals, Krennic building a weapon, Galen Erso. These are like the key takeaways. This is like huge news. So after promising to help Lonnie's family, Luthen kills him, likely to prevent exposure, to preserve the mission, or out of some form of mercy that he's not caught and tortured. Yeah. Probably. Yeah, all of the above.
I think it's definitely because he can't risk him being caught.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's a bummer.
It's so sad.
It's a bummer because it's like he was such a loyal soldier. He wanted out.
Yeah.
It was he was told no, basically.
Yeah.
You can't leave. And then in the process, having finally brought the news that like allows for all of Star Wars to happen.
Yeah, right. Without Lonnie.
Yeah. To this, like, it's funny. Like, I think about these moments and I think, what would George Lucas think about all this? Because it's like, this wouldn't exist without A New Hope, which was, of course, like a brainchild of his own.
Yeah.
And then in like some sort of like meta reverse way, A New Hope doesn't happen unless these events in this show take place. So it's all kind of a snake eating its own tail.
Of course. But it's fun. Like when you have like, they've stolen the Death Star plans. It's like, oh, how did they know about it? Where did they get them from? It's just so fun to get these stories retroactively. Like,
many Bothans died. No, that's for the second Death Star.
Yeah.
So
we can get that story too.
I don't know if we need that story. It's like we already got the story. Like how different? Okay, they built a second Death Star. The fact that we got a second and third Death Star
too many
is too many.
Too many Death Stars.
Yeah, and it's like, I feel bad for the Bothans, but we don't need to see that story ultimately. Probably. I mean, who knows? Long enough timeline, we'll see every story.
Right.
So maybe I'll probably not live to see that. He's just left in the square dead. It's like it's such a sad way for him to go out. Love the way that they directed this episode. Alonso has this like really like skewed camera angle as Luthen's like coming down the staircase and like trying to like organize everything. Thought that's really cool. So Kleya,
Tuca cat.
Yeah, right.
Is Tuca?
Is that what's going on there?
That runs up to Lonnie when they show you Lonnie's dead.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Kleya is told to flee to Yavin 4 and deliver the intel to the rebellion leaders. Luthen stays behind to destroy the evidence, but it all catches up to them too fast. And Luthen is caught basically purging evidence at his shop when Dedra shows up.
Yeah.
Doing this kind of like little dance.
I love that he still puts on like the persona, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Even though he knows, like he's just still like lays it on.
Because it gives him time to like maybe play something or who knows. Like, it gave him the opportunity to kill himself. Basically.
I like how she makes fun of his wig.
Yeah, your dumb wig.
Yeah, your ridiculous wig. Or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's so ridiculous. It fooled you for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, she does this whole thing about how she's never been here before, but she's always wanted to, which is kind of like a nice, like, she's kind of talking about really how she was always trying to find him.
Yes, yeah.
Which is like this fun idea. And so, double speak, and how she's like, I've got this thing I want to show you, and I don't know if it's worth anything. And it turns out it's the Starpath unit from season 1, which is a fun little, turnabout.
It is.
And so once that happens, though, and then they have this little like exchange where she's like, yeah, but you're too late. The rebellion's flown away. It's not here anymore. And I love that line specifically.
Yeah.
And so she's just like, it's fine. We'll arrest you and we'll get all the knowledge from you and it doesn't matter. And then she sees the smoke, and in that amount of time and she sees the smoke, he's already stabbed himself with that ceremonial dagger, which I think, I know there's a specific name that they mentioned for like the culture and the species and stuff. And that's all nice. We don't have time to get into those details.
No.
So really cool. And also, like, I love how she asks, like, "Oh, is everything in here real?" Right?
Yeah,
and yeah, some of it is.
Yeah, most of it.
Yeah. She needs him to live though, so she calls in like the squad to take them into the hospital right away.
Yeah.
But he's like mortally wounded. Kleya, learning of the cacher, begins a covert rescue mission. So, do you think she goes into this like to try to get him out, or?
No.
She knows that he's...
I think she knows. I think maybe like to see, but I think once she...
He would have told her to kill him
like when she knows that she's not going to be able to like move him out of there herself.
Right.
She just knows.
It's really risky of her though.
It is, but I think she also knows that like for Luthen, like obviously he already tried to do this, but he would rather be dead than to have them like bring him back and to torture him and everything, right? So she knows like that's
she would have, and they would have had this conversation before.
Yes,
like if I'm ever in this position, kill me.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Like that's what he wants, and she knows that. So it's like a mercy. Like it's not.
Yeah. So this sequence though is so cool.
Oh, she's so badass here. I love later when they like mention like, oh, it's a team of 3.
Yeah,
it's just like
no, just one person,
one nurse.
So she poses first as a patient with a bleeding hand to get in, and then which isn't even like. She had hands not even bleeding.
No.
Before taking on the disguise as a nurse. I love that she's like cracks the like
the
lockers.
little locks, looking for the clothes. I know.
She avoids detection and plants bombs to cause a diversion. Enters Luthen's medical room, does it like she's like carrying patients around and she's doing all these things to like get
didn't that patient look like ET to you?
Which in the chair?
Yeah, the old grandma in the chair.
No, I didn't clock that, but like, I don't know how. I don't know what would you even search for. Kleya, old patient. I would be shocked if. I mean, I know that they've been teased, like they're in the background of episode 3 and stuff, but that like. It's not the right color.
I'm already seeing pictures of ET coming up, but
I don't think that the face isn't the right shape. I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I thought it looked like ET because it had a little hood up at first, but
I just like that she like steals. She's like, "That's okay. We'll go somewhere else," and then like they go this other way, and then the way that she interacts with all of the Imperial officers, it's like, "Sorry, it's closed." And normally she'd be like, "Oh." She'd be able to, in other stories, when you're not dealing with the ISB, be like, well, I'm a nurse. I have to get up there for this thing. Okay, I'll let you through.
Yes.
And then, but like, they're like, absolutely not. There's no getting through, yada, yada, yada. So she creates this diversion. She gets up. I love how she shoots a stormtrooper right in the head.
Yeah.
So sick. She shoots another one. And I love, and Tony Gilroy talked about how that set, they were like being basically told they didn't have the money for it.
Yeah.
And they're like, you guys already built 2 giant sets. We can't build a third one. But they did. But they built this very like efficient set. It's just one. It's like 3 hallways basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
And they basically built those 3 hallways, and then they shot it in a way that like
make them look different.
And then like he's like, I love how you can like see everything from everywhere because of this horseshoe shape.
Yeah.
And you get like all this great framing opportunities, and you get like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Right? So you get to see Dedra like watch as the officers come to arrest her.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. It's like, it's great. So I thought this is just so awesome because again, it's like she could die. This is where like the stakes are real.
Yes, exactly. See, I thought the same thing about the hospital being very fun. Look at like a Star Wars hospital that isn't like Camino, right? It's not like just a med bay.
It's not that different from Camino. Like
no, it's all white and thing. But I really liked all the glass and the horseshoe shape and how you could see what was going on the other floors. It was quite cool.
Which means which is crazy that she gets away with like shooting so many people when they're like in front of a window. Yeah.
Some of them are kind of in like a stairwell though, and she like drags the bodies out of the way. But you're right.
Anyway, she finds her way to Luthen, and as the notes say, gently euthanizes him.
Yeah, she
kisses his forehead and sheds a tear.
Yeah, basically like unplugs his life support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's so brilliant about this episode is that they're bookending this kind of with the flashbacks from season 1, episode 1.
Yeah.
And where we get Andor's origin story.
Yeah.
Instead, we get Kleya's origin story.
Yeah, I was not expecting this.
Neither was I.
Yeah.
And it informs everything about her in a way that like recontextualizes everything about her from before.
Yeah.
But also shows, this like why she would care so much. About this specific, not just why she shed a tear or why like she cares enough to put him out of his misery so he's not tortured, all that stuff, but also like why she cares about the mission.
Yeah.
Why the mission's so important. So yeah, what do you feel about the flashbacks?
I really liked it. I thought it was like a fun little...
Did you like when they went to Naboo?
Yeah, right? I thought that was Naboo.
Sweet. Yeah.
I thought it was like a fun little detail that when he was a soldier, his last name was Lear, and that's Rael.
It's anagram.
Backwards, right?
Yeah.
Or Luthen Rael backwards. I was like, oh, okay, so he kind of flipped his name or whatever. But I see in your notes here that he's an Imperial LT. I wasn't too sure.
It's not true. Okay.
No. Okay.
Sorry. That's not true. It's just not entirely clear.
It's not okay. So it was meant to be ambiguous.
Yeah.
Maybe.
How old do you think Kleya is?
When he finds her
in
the flashback?
No, in 1 BBY. In the contemporary timeline.
Mid-20s?
Okay, I think that's probably fair.
Under 30, maybe 30.
So we know that the fall of the empire, the empire rose from the ashes of the Republic 19 BBY.
Mm-hmm.
So 19 years. It's assumed that in like best case scenario, Kleya is like 6 or 7 years old, 19 years ago. So that puts her at like 25.
Okay, yeah.
Ish,
yeah.
Right? And that's assuming that Luthen's working for the Imperials at that time. We don't see the one thing I know for sure that we do hear the sound of a Clone Wars era dropship.
Okay.
Because that's a very distinct sound.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, is this a Clone Wars thing? But it's like,
is he a separatist?
But we're not hearing clones.
No.
So, but he could also be I was thinking he also could be a
That's
separatist.
what I was thinking is maybe he was a separatist. Because you feel like he's a bad guy because they're taking out like innocent people.
But again, then that's why maybe it's the Imperials, right?
Yeah. But it could just be like any war on any planet.
It could be. Could be any war on any planet.
Yeah.
But if it was the separatists, it's like it would be
ship.
droids then, probably.
That's true.
Right? These are obviously people.
Yeah.
This is crazy when he's like, bring out the 50. And I was like, a 50 caliber?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a 50 pounder.
No, I think when they said bring out the 50, I thought they were talking about people.
I think my interpretation was that was like generic war jargon, and that you could call it a 50-pound gun and then a blaster or whatever.
Oh, maybe.
It could work.
Yeah.
Like that thing that they see them like in Gorman when they're like blasting people with those massive,
those big guns.
Yeah. So I mean, either way, he's like. So we see Luthen. We meet him at his youngest, which is I don't know. You call him. How old do you think he is here? In his 40s?
Yeah, I would say. Oh man, I just like you could see how like troubled he is.
Oh, make it stop.
Make it stop. Yeah, and he's like saying that in a different language too.
I guess.
Right?
We just don't know. Like the thing about this is that
like
it's
the two
so
things,
unclear. There's so much unclear about what's going on.
I know,
Where
which
is
I kind of like.
When
it's
is
like,
he?
All right, so this is like a cool little bit of backstory that like they could build on. You never know if they really wanted to.
So the takeaway is that he finds Kleya hiding out in wherever the hell they are.
I feel like they're on a ship.
Maybe on a ship.
Like but
during some sort of like genocide of some kind.
Yeah.
And he's a participant in it, but it's like he's completely broken him.
Yeah.
And so from this moment on, he defects, presumably, takes in this girl as his like pseudo daughter.
Yeah.
The way he's like, yeah, as a ward. He's like, yeah, you're my daughter when it suits.
When it suits, right? Yeah, he's just always kind of like wishy-washy, kind of a kind of a jerk.
Yeah, he does kind of. It is very much Batman Robin-esque. It's like you're not my son, but also you're my like partner in crime.
Mm-hmm.
So
she's just so hardened too by like a young age.
My god, yeah, right away. Like, and any young person who's like gone through something like that, like they're often like.
It does make sense as to why she's like so mad about like the stormtroopers and like the Imperials and stuff, right? That maybe that he was one, right? But at the same time, you think you'd hate him a little more at the beginning of like, no, you're one of them, right?
Yeah, but I think she's like he offers her help, right?
Yeah.
So they form a bond. They take on new names and begin life as rebels, basically. He's basically decided from that moment on, I'm going to fight to... And so I think that's why it has to be an Imperial lieutenant.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense to me,
he
too.
Was partner to their crimes and then was so disgusted by what he saw that he dedicated his life to stopping it.
Because it seems like they don't jump too far, and they're
like a few years, maybe a year, maybe a couple years. Yeah, exactly. So okay, so let's assuming that she's in her mid 20s, maybe late 20s if you're really pushing it, and they're already selling like I like how we do like 3 flashbacks and they get richer and richer as it goes on.
Yeah, the antiquities, and they're already like she's helping barter.
Exactly.
And, it's great.
And that, and again, the young actress is so good.
She is very good.
But again, she's channeling like a bit of an Ezra attitude, right?
Yeah.
A little bit like, we're not doing enough. Why are we waiting? And then we get this great line about like, we fight to win, which means we lose until we're ready. Right?
Yeah. And you just watch.
And so like, and we get to see his like early, what it meant to be like before he became this like, became Axis, this like early version of what his version of rebellion was. Right? So he's an accelerationist. He's blowing up bridges on Naboo, right? Safe, quote unquote, safe worlds.
Yes.
To incite crackdowns because he knows that that's the only way to get people angry enough to do anything about it.
Yes.
Right. And so like, and which we know from before, but seeing it is a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And then he makes her, I mean, he says you should pull the trigger, but she ultimately doesn't.
No, he like takes it away from her because she's about to, and he's like, no.
It's actually, you know what? Never mind. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, he's like, okay, you're ready to, but you're not ready to.
Why does he want her to look away? To be like, so you don't know it's coming, so it doesn't.
Yeah, I do feel like it's so it's not obvious. Probably is like, don't look at it because don't watch. But maybe also like you're not. Yeah, does he say no? You're not ready? No, he doesn't say you're not ready.
No, not really. But he takes it away from her.
Yeah,
like, he takes away, removes the choice,
takes the trigger away.
But it's like also like. It's classic Luthen, like provide someone a choice and then take away the actual option.
Yes. Like see if you're actually going to do it.
But then also it doesn't matter. It's going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
So that's like, I like that. And then there's another moment where she sees a Imperial firing squad.
Oh, that was awful.
Yeah.
That was so awful.
I think they filmed this stuff in Spain. It's very beautiful.
It is very beautiful. That made me just like, ugh. And like how he just walks away and she just goes and watches it and everybody else is turning away and ugh.
Yeah. It's like we didn't do anything. It's like because one person, like one stormtrooper was killed, they're like rounding random people up and shooting them. It's crazy. But like that's early in the rebellion or like in the Imperial. Like it's.
I don't even think he was killed. He just like bit into like a screw in his food.
Oh, really? And then they're like, we're just going to murder people now?
It was that minimal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I thought, did they say screw?
It was something like that.
Because it's like, remember there was the whole
bolt, maybe?
Remember there was the whole thing last season of Andor? It's like, there's not supposed to be any screws or zippers in...
Wasn't that just, what's his name?
Well, maybe it might have been Star Wars Theory. It's possible.
I'm pretty sure that was just a Star Wars Theory thing, and people were just like, dude, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Who
why
cares?
Can't zippers exist?
Who gives a shit?
In a galaxy far, far away a long time ago. Dumb. Yeah, no, something about a bolt in his food or something like that.
Yeah, either way, it's like this is a great shorthand way to give us this crucial information. Give us more about Kleya. Tell us more about Luthen in an episode that's basically just a Luthen and Kleya episode. And I think that's like, it's so brilliant. It's such a good, it's so satisfying. Even despite his death, which you knew was coming. But like he lives on in Kleya, which is kind of what Cassian tries to tell her about, like at Yavin 4 and all that stuff. It's like, go and live in the thing that he built.
Yeah, like this is what he built. That's where you belong.
But even like, but the thing is, what is fascinating is like, no one knows this. Only she knows this stuff. She would never tell anyone.
No.
Right. But as Cassian says earlier, you'd have more in common than you think.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Episode 11. Who else knows? The Empire investigates Luthen's death. Supervisor Hirt leads the probe and identifies Kleya in disguise. Krennic interrogates Dedra, accusing her of undermining the Empire. She defends herself by pointing out her intel led them to Axis, but she's imprisoned for failing to secure Luthen or Kleya and ultimately leaking knowledge of the Death Star.
Yeah.
It's quite remarkable that they kept the secret. Like, I think it's quite remarkable that they kept the secret long. Like, they kept the Death Star secret for 10 years. And then and even Partagas says it's pretty crazy that we were able to keep the secret this long, right? You guys do you think?
Right. Yeah.
One little leak, is that it? Like we're gonna pretend like this is the sky's falling because one leak? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, and the thing about that is it's like, even if everyone knew that the Death Star was being built right now, no one knows where it is. No one knows all this stuff. And it's like, okay, so it's at Scarif or whatever. And so that's fine. But actually, it's not even at Scarif. It's somewhere else because it travels to Scarif.
Yeah.
In Rogue One.
I don't really know where it is. I don't think
it appears at the end of it. It travels through hyperspace to reach Scarif at the end of Rogue One. So it's being constructed somewhere in secret.
Yes.
So it's like, at this stage, it doesn't even matter, really. No. It's kind of like with the Gormans. It's like we can drop the charade now, basically. But that's not how they're treating it. Anyway, it's Ben Mendelsohn is like chewing scenery here.
Yeah,
having a really fun time, just eating.
He's so good.
Not just chewing scenery, chewing up Dedra.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's so good. Like everything he says about how it's like I'm here only because the Death Star. Who else knows? No one else knows. And then it's like, this is how we slowly peel back the layers of like, oh, he turns off the cameras too, which is always like,
such a cop thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then how he's like, oh, so you got these packets. Why didn't, she's like, I know I should have reported it, but I didn't report it because I was looking for this stuff. The scavenger moment.
Yeah.
And it's just like all unwinding for Dedra. She's like, she's like, I was trying to do the right thing. And okay, I got a little bit of information I shouldn't have, but like, why is that such a big deal? Oh, because Lonnie stole my code cylinder.
Yeah.
I wish they'd use the term code cylinder instead of whatever they said, code something.
Yeah.
Because that's what those little cylinders are.
Yeah, the little
like pens.
Pens, yeah, they look like pens that are always in their like pockets.
Yeah. So I don't know. Any thoughts on this like interrogation scene?
It was just so good. Like it's tense. It's stressful. You can see her like kind of anger and frustration of like what the hell? Why am I even here over just what she thinks is kind of like not even big info. Like she's like, it seemed like she's like, I didn't even read all of it.
The Death Star secret is a big deal.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like she's like, I didn't even read all of it. Like she's more looking for like Axis stuff. And she's like, I was trying to look for information that you guys buried because like you're messing things up.
You didn't tell me. You had this information you didn't tell me about.
Exactly. Right? So she's trying to like turn it around, but it's just like not working for her. Right. But yeah, I specifically love the finger on the head thing. I'm
so
like,
do you think she's trying to talk her way out of this at this point? She's like, I can still help you.
A bit. Yeah, like probably backpedaling, being like, this isn't as big of a deal as you're making it. Like I didn't do,
like I brought you, I brought an Axis. She's like, well, did you? Because he's like dying.
Well, he didn't even know that he was dead yet. But yeah, she's like, yeah, if basically if Lonnie had my stuff, then like he stole it, right? Kind of,
right.
But they think she's working with him, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it doesn't even matter. It's just like we have a scapegoat, so that's all we need, right?
Somebody needs to get blamed so that Palpatine has
someone to force lightning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like the thing with like here too is like he was her assistant, and he's just so willing to step on her face to climb over her. You know,
that's why he gets what he deserves.
Oh yeah, human shield.
That scene was crazy.
That is, oh my god! I was like, wow,
that was like horror.
Yeah. Grabs him and like I think immediately kills him and then uses him as a human shield.
Yeah, his like head's just flopping. It was so gross.
My god.
And like, you know how they talked, I don't know if we talked about this in the last episode about how they actually wanted to bring in KX.
Oh yeah,
or K2.
Yeah, as like a horror movie.
As like a horror movie. It's like, he was supposed to come in on like a freighter or something and like be like murdering people, like kind of let loose. But they're like, we didn't have the budget, so we had to go a different way.
Yeah.
It's like they got their horror, another great horror hallway scene.
Oh yeah,
of,
good point.
Take K2 just murdering dudes down this hallway.
I love how when
big guy.
I love how he's like, "Are you with us?" No.
Just knocks him off.
So he just knocks him. He just kills him in like one blow.
It is so fun getting to see him unleashed on like Imperials because they look at him being like, "Oh, that's one of ours." Like, what? And they're
he gives him
confused.
just enough time to get close enough to kill him with his bare hands.
Yeah, and it's like, that's what you guys get for making these horrendous things that are so powerful that they can just kill a human by swatting them.
I've been to Coruscant once. He's like, there was 200 KX droids. The Emperor was there.
Yeah, we were at a parade. Shut up.
It's he's so funny.
Yeah, he is funny.
I love
such
Alan
a weirdo.
Tudyk. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that scene was wild with like Hearts and how he dies. Like, oh Gross.
it's
It's great. It's a great scene.
Great stuff because it's like this guy sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
But yeah, and then she still gives him the info. It's crazy.
yeah.
She's like with the pulse codes and everything. It's like,
Yeah, because here it comes back and says like, I basically need your help. And she's like, why would I help you?
yeah,
And she should have just stopped there.
yeah,
And anyway, so he's like, okay, well, I think, what does he make it? He doesn't like they're not even cutting a deal. He's just like, you're screwed either way. So just tell me.
yeah.
So it's like, she's like, go back, look at those pulse code stuff, and then maybe you can find.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this is why she gets prison and not murdered. So I don't know. Maybe it helps.
Oh
her
yeah,
a little
maybe.
bit.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I don't know what's worse in that case.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
know. So Kleya returns to the safe house, activates a hidden transmitter that she has buried in the wall, which is cool as hell.
Yeah.
And I love how they're living in like a slum, by the way. That's where the safe house is. It's so sick.
It's weird though, because some of the levels seem fine, but then their level is just not. Because nobody's there. It's not being taken care of.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Right? So I don't think it's a slum. I just think it's
Just a shitty floor.
a shitty floor of the apartment that's kind of abandoned and whatever. But
So I like that they're basically going back to like Morse code style, the pulse code concept. And then we get that line. It's like, it's just as dangerous to receive a message as it is to send one.
yeah.
Right. But they trace the signal being sent back to her
Yes.
on Coruscant. And so at that point, it's like, oh shit, the clock is ticking. And then the ISB is so motivated, like, okay, we can track. We found the path to where we need to get to really quickly. And it's like, okay, well, we know that she has the information. She has to get it to Andor somehow because we know that that's how the movie goes.
Yes.
And then that's why this episode, I think, is the best of these three, because you get the most excitement,
Yeah.
I think.
There's a lot of excitement in this
And
one.
it's a race to extract information, right? We
Yes.
go back for another extraction, and it's like, is it the person or the information? Turns out it's both, which is fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, they receive the message on Yavin on Wilmon's old radio, which is against protocol. He's not allowed to have a radio because again, dangerous to receive
Yes.
messages. So he takes the information not to Rebel High Command, but to Cassian, Melshi, and K2SO, who are busy playing cards or dominoes or some sort of like. I love that scene so much.
It's so good.
First of all, pour out some Regnog.
Regnog, yeah.
Yeah, for all the, and they actually cheers with Regnog later.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that.
They
But
do.
Yeah, they're playing and they're like, oh, he's droiding you.
I love how they're just like giggling, kind of like bullying him.
Yeah, it's like oh, he's droiding you because he's like, because like he's such a keener too. He's like, oh, I know the chances of you making that play are incalculable or whatever.
It's like we played this many games and you've never done this and blah blah blah, doing like all the calculated things.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's very 3PO coded.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah,
is.
and that's great.
Such a great scene.
Yeah,
and yeah, they're just giggling. Like I love seeing Cassian and like Melchi be like playful.
I know, and he's like, I'll give you one opportunity to take back your last bet.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, he's scared. He's
yeah.
scared.
Oh, and then they get interrupted.
Yeah.
But that's a great moment. It's
is
like this
fun.
great moment of levity. This is a great opportunity to see Cassian is fully a part of this life now.
Yeah.
And he's friends with K2, even though it's kind of like a little, he still seems a little awkward about it.
Right.
He's like, am I allowed to be friends with my droid? I don't know how that works, but it's like, you were friends with B, so like, why not? Right. So I wish maybe it's because he's an Imperial droid, so he doesn't fully trust him. That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so despite the rules and warnings, they steal a U-wing and head off to rescue Kleya. I like how they're like, we don't want to get shot down flying out of here, so go get us on the test flight roster. We're going to take this, and then we're going to jump. I love how they're like, oh my God, Cassian has stuff and he's leaving. They're like,
yeah,
where's he going? Coruscant. What? And then poof, like out there, he's gone.
Yeah, they're just he turns off.
Yeah.
Yeah, the he's like, we've broken this many commands so far.
18, 19 now.
Turn it off.
Yeah.
Again, very
disobeying.
3PO.
Does he say? But disobeying rules is so refreshing.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love K2. It's great.
He's good. Yeah.
They really held back. Like we could have. I wish we got more K2. It's like introduce him in early season 2, and we could have got more. But whatever. There's a whole movie, I guess.
That's true.
So, meanwhile, Hirt and Krennic scramble to track Kleya. They trace the Axis files. They retrace the Axis files after suggestions to identify old comms channels used by Bix and others. Krennic prepares to depart for Scarif to complete the Death Star after a meeting with Partagaz to come up with a plan. She left the hospital with a disease was what they landed on. That's like, you get this moment where Partagaz, first of all, the scene where Krennic is like, I can't save you, Leo, is like so cool. And they talk about this in that podcast interview with Tony Gilroy. It's like that one line gives you so much, like they probably came up through together and all that stuff.
Like they're buddies.
They're buddies. And
it's like first name basis.
Yeah, like they went to the academy together or whatever.
Yeah.
And now he's like, there's nothing I can do for you.
Yeah.
You know? And which is shitty. It's like, hey, oh, well, I thought we were friends. I guess not. And yeah, he's like, okay, so my last, like, he's like directly involved, right? Because his neck is on the line. So he's like, okay, we don't have time to try to figure this out. Here's what we're going to do. She has a disease. Everyone needs to be on the lookout for her. Put it out there, get it out there everywhere. We need to find this person.
Yes.
Right? And
just so smart because it's like nobody cares about a murderer. Nobody cares about like, oh, like it's treason and murder.
Because it can kill you. Right?
Yada, yada. But it's like this people care about because it directly affects them. Yeah.
So... yeah, really like fun
so
little
smart. He's
moment
always so
here.
smart.
Yeah, and that's why it's like he's so clearly intelligent that it's like it's such a shame that he was using his intelligence for evil.
But it's got to make sense because he's not around for episode 4.
Right.
So
and like who? I guess it's like who takes over the ISB? I guess it's Yularen.
Oh, is it Yularen? Yeah,
Yularen's the only one wearing the white uniform in Rogue One. Or
okay.
Yeah, not Rogue One, but New Hope. Same thing.
It's got to be then.
So yeah, and like I know he's directly working with like, you know, Thrawn and stuff for the ISB. So, and he's the only one at that same level. So I guess he takes over from there. But the impression I get is the ISB is never as effective as they were when Partagaz was there.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Again, losing good people.
Exactly.
So Cassian and the team arrive on Coruscant, land at the safe house. I love it's that same like parking garage that we've seen outside their window for all that time. It's like, okay, we finally get to be there. And it's Milshi's first time at Coruscant, which is kind of cool. It would be amazing to see a city planet.
Right.
And they always, I love how she's like, oh yeah, we found him across town. They said about that about Lonnie. And I was like, what does across town mean on Coruscant? Is that like, is that on the other hemisphere of the planet or like what's going on?
I know.
Anyway, whatever. So they arrive at Coruscant. They land at the safe house. They find Kleya, who reacts with, of course, it would be you, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And I love this line because, again, it ties back to what we said earlier about how she didn't fully believe that Andor was fully bought in.
Right, yeah.
And then I probably had to hear Luthen talking about how Andor was his like secret weapon and all these things. And she's like, are you sure? Is he dependable? And all that stuff, having to be the voice of reason or like the devil's advocate. And now it's like Luthen's guardian angel is now here for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's like, you know, of course it would be you. Yeah. It's like, it has so many meanings. Anything else that you would kind of like take from that?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just, she's like, but exactly what you said. Like, of course it would be you. Like, who else would come? Like,
right.
Who else would show up at this point?
Yeah, they're like, it's not going to be Gold Squadron. You know?
No.
So K2 watches the ISB ship arrive and witnesses the like comms block.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah. And then he's like, what I love about K2 here is that he takes initiative to like, he's like, I'm going to.
Yeah. He's like, well, gotta go tell him.
Yeah. Okay. So he like goes and what I don't understand is why he didn't turn off the comms block. Because he goes to the ship, he kills the people on the ship, and that
maybe he just didn't know that the comms were blocked.
No,
he thought they were just down.
He did know because he wasn't able to contact.
No, but he might have just thought they were down, not blocked. Maybe he doesn't know how to unblock them.
He's a Imperial droid.
Yeah, it's true.
He's also the other thing is maybe he left it up because it keeps him protected. Because if you're able to call out for backup,
they can't.
Then they can't get out.
That is part of it too.
So maybe that's what it is. We'll go with that one.
Yeah.
And then he comes up to do like he's like, okay, I'll just come up there and help.
Yeah.
I don't know how he knows exactly where to go, but and maybe he told him earlier. It's like it's level 27.
Yeah.
End of the hall. And then he comes up. The Imperial troops close in. They're tracking the signal. They mistakenly go to the wrong floor, which I think is fun. Right.
Yeah.
But they quickly course correct they're walking down the hallway, and the whole time I'm thinking like they're just having this casual conversation in this safe house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get to it already.
Yeah.
Like, what are we waiting for?
Yeah.
To the point where it's so good that Melshi walks out and he's like,
Yeah.
like, oh, oops. They're like
Whoops.
right here.
Yeah, with their bright lights in his face.
And he's like, and they're like, don't move. He's like,
Yeah.
He's like, just darts.
in,
Yeah. That's great. Because it's another one's like, oh, well, you can't shoot Melshi. We know he survives.
Yeah.
So, and then anyway, they throw this like stun grenade.
Stun grenade.
And it like wounds Kleya and like knocks out Cassian or like blinds him. And then they're like, but fortunately Melshi's still up and he's like able to like hold the door so they're able to get back up. And they would have been totally screwed probably if it wasn't for K2 murdering everybody.
But I also love that they just don't know what's going on. Like K2's not yelling anything to them. He's not trying to. He's just
like what's happening out there? It's like, oh no, it's K. Don't worry, it's
just
K2
screaming too. It's wild. And then we get to see Hirtz's.
Yeah, I guess
so.
To be fair, technically the final shot of episode 11 is the squad moving in. And then I was like, that's an interesting choice. Like, why not just like wrap this up in this episode before going on? But it's like, and then you get this like action beat at the beginning of this episode 12, which is like, so it spreads it out. But it's like you could have done either way. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of another.
Yeah.
Okay. Episode 12, Jedha Kyber Urso, which is like the keywords,
key points,
for Rogue One. They could have just called it Rogue One, but I guess, whatever. So the story resumes where we left off. Cassian convincing Kleya to come to Yavin to honor Luthen's legacy. Imperial troops storm the safe house, led by Hirt and Sergeant. I love how he's like, you can tuck in now.
He's like, you can just hide.
Yeah. I get the impression that like that sergeant was like, this little kid is bossing me
Why
around?
are you here? Yeah. That guy's huge.
Yeah.
He's so giant.
Giant dude. Yeah. And then, so Melshi gets caught, stun grenade, yada, yada. K2 comes to save the day. They flee back to the U-Wing and escape to Coruscant just as additional troops are converging on the location.
I always love the sound of the cop. Yeah, I love it. I don't know why. It's just
like European sound.
It is. It's very European sounding, but it just sounds so like pitiful.
I love that they're showing that like they're using the right vehicles here because it's the Imperial like dropships. Yeah. And those are the same things that like chase. They're very similar to the things that are like chasing them down.
Yeah. I feel like the Emperor shows up in those a lot too. Because like the one with the wings, like.
No, so that's the Lambda class shuttle.
Sorry, I always get it's because the wings fold up on both of them.
But that's not even what's arrived. Like, the police have those like, you saw them a lot in Rebels. Those like, they have like an open side. They're kind of like condensed.
Yes.
And they're kind of like a circular front window that kind of looks like a TIE fighter.
Yes.
So those are what is coming out.
Yeah.
And chases, I think there's like versions of those that chase down Ahsoka when she's being captured and stuff. There's like early versions of them.
Yes. I thought you meant what the TAC team shows up in.
Oh yeah, no, that's like a mini Lambda, and that's cool. Yeah. Okay, so they get back to Yavin. Mon, Bail, and Draven struggle to maintain unity as they fight with Saw Gerrera, who is now completely paranoid. We talked about the scene already, but it's a nice kind of like through line thread to what was happening in Rogue One. We get Admiral Raddus, who sacrifices himself in Rogue One. I guess to make room for Admiral. It's a trap. Later, Akbar. Thank you. Anyway, Raddus reports that the stolen U-Wing's returning. They're like, "Is it Cassian?" They're like, "It could be anyone." Anyway, they assume it's Cassian, but they can't be too careful.
Yes.
And even like K2 is like, why aren't they answering us? It's like they think we could be anyone.
Yeah.
So Cassian and crew are escorted in by some X-Wings and greeted by a squad of soldiers.
Yeah, I love what K2 waves at them.
Yeah, that's good.
So cute.
They need to do some like light convincing, but are able to get Kleya into the medical, get medical attention. And then the rest of them are all confined to quarters. And I love how K2 is like asked to power down, which is like,
go power down until we power you up and talk to you. Yeah.
Which is like pretty rough if you're a droid to just like be powered down.
Yeah.
Like power yourself down. It's like, okay.
It's like, go to sleep.
Yeah. Cassian is given a chance to defend his actions for violating orders. And he's doing this in front of high command. They don't have a quorum, but they have enough of their leadership there, arguing that quote, Luthen was right. Right?
Yeah.
It's like Cassian becomes the voice of Luthen's legacy, defending his mentor's sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he gave up everything. You wouldn't all be sitting here right now if it wasn't for him. And there's this like great tension in the room because everyone's like, bullshit. We don't owe him anything.
Right.
And it's like, but part of them is kind of like, he's kind of right, but also they didn't really know him.
I love that line. He's like, have you met him? And he just screams it at them. Right. And none of them have, except for Mon Mothma. It's like, you don't know.
But even Mon is like a little skeptical because she does know him and knows that he's like not fully trustworthy.
But then that's exactly what he says, right? Because he, like, I like how he dives into that. He's like, I know the good and I know the bad. Like he's,
he does a great job advocating.
Yeah, he does
on this behalf. Like,
he absolutely does.
Yeah. So he's like,
I get it.
He died for this information. I believe with all my soul that he is a person that, if this information was important and willing to die for it, it has to be true. Yeah. So, and like, what benefit would it be for him to bring this information and it just be like a rumor? He's not dying for a rumor. No. You know, this is real hard evidence, right? And so, you know, it's a little frustrating to watch like everyone kind of push back so hard here. I do love the jab at Bale for Mon's escape. He's like, when's the last time you saw him? He's like, it was a year ago when I helped Mon.
Yeah, escape. And he's like, noted.
He's like, yeah, okay, fair point.
He's like, fair. My guys were bad, so yeah, you got me there.
Right, and then you have Senator Palmo, who's the black woman with the hood. Yeah, she's always just the negative Nancy, though. Yes, even in Rogue One, she's like, we shouldn't fight, and she's like, it's like, what are we even doing?
Like,
here?
Why are you here?
Yeah, and so she's like, boo, we don't need it, bullshit. And anyway, so she's kind of like the voice of dissent in this whole group.
Yeah, I think he's just paranoid. He's paranoid like Saw because they were just dealing with crazy Saw a minute ago.
Yeah, and so that's a great framing too. It's like we're dealing with another Saw, basically. Yeah. How can we trust him?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, so they're kind of already in that mode, and he has to kind of like talk them off the edge. Yeah. And I like how Mon basically sits in silence. She's kind of like taking it all in. She's like willing to believe him, but not really to like risk her credibility in front of all of her peers. Yeah. Draven, I think, is becomes such an interesting character in this final episode, and all through this series that we see him, only a few episodes, a few scenes really, before he's in Rogue One, because he is an advocate for Andor, but a reluctant one. He's like, I know he is like super valuable, super smart, but he doesn't follow the rules, and I need him to follow the rules. So he's like, when he's like, oh yeah, we got another message from our guy, he only wants to talk to Cassian. He's like, okay, call him in. It's like, we were just punishing him, but we can't punish him because he's too valuable to us. So it's like he's this like dichotomy between wanting him to be a soldier and then also wanting him to or understanding that like what makes him so good is that he has this level of independence.
Yes, is that he's like not by the book.
Yeah. But I mean, he makes this case. He's like to Draven in this. He's like, what do you want? More do you want from me? I'm here. Yeah. I committed to it. I'm not working with Luthen.
Yeah, he's like, exactly. He's like,
but this was important.
Yes,
right.
It's like this is kind of the last. But yeah, no, I totally do get it from their perspective too, where they're like, Luthen doesn't even check in with them. He doesn't even talk to them, and then they deal with nutcase Saw all the time, like going rogue and being insane. So it's so hard for them to be like, okay, we can't deal. How do we know this information is even like true? Because it's like Saw's already going nuts on his end. So it's fun to kind of see all of it, right? The backgrounds.
And like the best part, I think, maybe not the best part, but a great part is when he's like, well, then I want permission to go visit the infirmary.
Yeah, when they're like, yeah, you're confined to your barracks.
And Mon's like without even hesitation, is like, permission granted.
Yeah, before anybody else can say no. She's like, yeah, permission granted.
I also love her line earlier. It's like, makes dealing with the Senate seem easy.
Yeah, her little like sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, man, we're just dealing with more of the same.
Also, there's an interesting element of like, okay, you were a senator in the Imperial Senate. Does that automatically entitle you to leadership within the rebellion? Like, I don't know.
Right, but I think it's because she was already...
Yeah, Mon, yes.
Yes, Mon.
But like, there's two other senators, Bale and what's her name?
Yeah, that's
we just
true.
talked about,
that's
right?
true.
Palmo.
Yeah. So, Bale also was always helping too, but I don't really know about Palmo. But
yeah, how much was she...
I guess you're just collecting senators who are wanting to defect and...
Pamlo, by the way. We're saying that wrong. Palmo was the capital of...
Palmo.
My brain is getting scrambled here at the end of all this, but
Pamlo, sorry, yeah.
Pamlo. She also appears in animation, I think, in The Bad Batch with Chuchi.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Senator Chu. They're like advocating on behalf of the clones.
The clones, yeah.
Anyway, I think this whole sequence is great where she's advocating, and then he's like, I'm a joiner now. I told you I wasn't going to be, but here I am. Is that not worth it?
Yeah.
Like, is that not worth anything to you? And so Vel is asked by Mon to go spy on Cassian. Very short scene, but it's like, I want to trust him. I want to believe him. Go find out if I should believe him. And she's like, you want me to spy on him? And she's like, well, kind of.
Yeah. I do like that Mon has Vel. Like, that they're
her cousin.
both there. It is nice that they both end up there.
And because of it earlier, she's like, because I worry about her. I care about her.
Yeah.
And then Vel's me like, if they want me to know, Mon wants me to know if this is worthwhile. So she's like she's willing to just like cut straight to the chase.
Yeah.
And I love this sequence. This might be one of my favorite sequences in this. I know I've said that already, but like this might be one of my favorite sequences in this episode because they're like, they've got this like old wartime buddy type of like relationship now.
Yeah.
She hated him.
Yeah.
When they met.
She did. Yeah. She was like, who is this new guy?
And like, and
Fuck
now,
him.
and
Yeah.
like, there's this great moment where she's like, I've heard people talk about being there. And she's like, if I heard anyone say that, I would kill them myself. Right?
Yeah.
And
he's like, I know you would. Yeah.
And she's like, because she's just so hard now. And then they have, and like, then they reminisce about, and it's raining, so it's moody. They break open the Revnog, and they're like, let's toast to everyone. You know, they mention Gorn, Nemec, Terriman, Cinta, the Gormans, Ferrix, his mother.
Yeah.
The dead are many.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like all these stepping stones along the way to like get to these moments, right? Yeah, and like naming them all, I think was very effective. Like, you know, we hear Nemec, but hear his name said, right? Gorn, who's someone we haven't heard of like in forever.
Yeah.
Obviously Cinta, which comes from Cassian mentions Cinta.
Yeah.
Right. And then she references his mother.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, just a great sequence of like just people who have this like connection. It reminds me of like, if I ever run into anyone I played football with from the Mustangs specifically, but it would be true for high school also.
Okay.
But but like there's this like camaraderie that goes beyond, like any time can go by.
Yeah.
And like you went through shit together.
Yeah.
You know? And that is like a bond that cannot be broken. And so they went through that shit together, and now they are bonded by it forever. Forever. And so they can truly trust each other on a fundamental level. So he's like, yes, he died for this information. It's worth it. So it's amazing.
Yeah, and I think him saying that to Vel too, like it helps her understand the gravity of the information too. It's like, no, like you know him, like.
And so she's not drinking anymore. Also, it's like, but she'll make an exception.
Yeah,
which is fun.
Yeah, I also liked, not that it matters, but because I work at a brewery, they're the container that they're pouring the whatever was it called Revnog out of. They're called like howlers and growlers. It's what like people will go and fill beer up with. It's like good to here in the States,
which sounds like something you would have be called something like that in Star Wars.
In Star Wars, I was just like, oh, like that's a growler. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah,
but it's just like it's literally just a brown jug.
Is Revnog beer? I guess so.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It seemed like it was like more hard alcohol to me, but
yeah. And then so Kleya, she wakes up in the infirmary and she feels trapped.
Yeah.
She pulls out her IV and like aimlessly walks out into the rain and in the jungle, just kind of like having this shock moment.
Yeah.
Right. And then she's confronted by Vel. She's like, Kleya? Is that you?
Why are you just wandering around? Yeah.
So, and,
what's happening?
And I got the impression that she was like going to wander off into the like jungle and never come back. And I think she would have if she hadn't run into Kleya.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know where she was wandering to, but yeah.
And she's like trying to convince
maybe
her.
still concussed.
Yeah, that's
out
true.
Of it.
Yeah. She's like, and trying to convince her, like, no, you're safe here.
Yeah, you're
she's
wanted.
Like, and he does the, I have friends everywhere line, which is like, okay, you understand that. And she's like, you are here with friends.
Yeah,
these are the friends. They care, like we care about you.
Yeah,
you'll be okay.
We use this line all the time, and it's true. Yeah.
But she's in a really messed up state, and we really don't see her come out of that, which is why it's like, man, would love to know more about Kleya.
Yeah.
Like what's going on with Kleya? Need to know more. And then Tivik, from Rogue One's opening scene, the man Cassian kills, sends a message wanting to speak with Cassian exclusively.
Mm-hmm.
This prompts Draven, maybe Cassian's biggest defender, even if, reluctantly,
doesn't love how he does
to
things.
pull him back in. He's worried that the Death Star news combined with the Saw on Jeddah and now Tivik is too much of a coincidence, or too much to be a coincidence. And he's like, okay, we need to get him involved. So Cassian he gets one last sleep.
Yeah, one last sleep.
Right. He dreams of Kanara and his lost sister before being woken up by K2SO. He's like, waking humans is always confusing.
Yeah.
Which is a great line. It's really good stuff. And then he gets a visit from Bail Organa, who is a skeptic, but is now convinced that he's part of the team.
Yeah, I liked this scene.
Yeah. It's kind of like a last bit of like, I believe in you. Right. And coming from him specifically as someone who was a skeptic gives it more weight.
Yeah.
You get the "May the Force be with you, Captain" line, which is great. Because we haven't really heard. I don't think we heard that said.
No,
once
we haven't. You haven't
until this moment. And there's this conversation about they're talking, and he's like, Cassian just like chuckles. He's like, you guys, you might not trust Luthen or whatever, but you guys aren't as different as you might have think.
Yeah.
Just echoing that, like so much mirroring in this show. And then Cassian, now fully committed, puts on his Rogue One gear. It's like he's putting on his Batman costume.
Yeah, right.
He's like, okay, he's putting on the stuff that he wears for Rogue One.
Yeah.
He puts on his jacket, he waters his plants, and it's just like they include that because he expects to come back.
Yes, yeah.
And that's what makes it so tragic.
Yeah.
And so he walks to the hangar, and while he walks, the music swells, and we get the montage of the surviving characters we talked about at the top. Mel Shi leading a squad, Wilmon and Drina sharing a meal, Mon and Vel bond over also a meal.
Yeah.
Perrin drinks himself into relevance.
Yeah.
Kleya wakes up, and Dedra, without a uniform, sobs in a cell on Narkina 5. Krennic watches the Death Star laser being completed, and Sagra stands in his eventual tomb.
Yeah.
Eventual tomb. Yeah, I mean, seeing that, like him standing in that little
same window.
yeah,
Yeah.
where he watches his death. Yeah, it's crazy. So that's a great moment. The part that sticks out is him catching a glance from the Force healer, and like him giving her a little nod, like, "Hey, I'm embracing my destiny. Aren't you proud of me?"
Going on my mission.
Yeah, and she kind of like, from her perspective, it's like, oh no, like it's kind of like this is all happening now, and she probably senses this like heaviness about it.
Yeah,
and you can kind of see it on her face, and that's all you need. He's like, K2SO, get us out of here. The ship flies off right into Rogue One, and which we'll pick up off on when we watch Rogue One next week.
Yeah.
And the final shot on the farm planet Mina Rao, big credits, Cassian's baby, cradles Cassian's baby.
Yeah.
It's okay, she says, smiling into the light, and that's it.
Yeah.
How appropriate for an ending,
right? So well done. Everything's so neat and tidy. I
don't know if I'll ever want to review anything else now. Like this is like, it's like it doesn't get better than
I know,
this.
like we're gonna be so negative on probably the next thing. No, because the next thing's Rogue One, so I don't know.
But Rogue One is a little bit of like
it's gonna be hard.
It's not slapped together, but it's a bit like cut together from different elements. It's not all Tony Gilroy, so it's gonna have a very different feel.
We just have to tell ourselves that, look, we can't base everything, not everything else that comes isn't fair. Shit just because this was so good.
It's not fair to everyone else to set the bar this high.
Not fair. Yeah. We can still like other things even if they aren't as good as this, because this is just, it's peak. It's,
This is, that's a great way.
It's like when you have a really, really good meal, and then doesn't mean other meals aren't going to be good, but you always think about that one. You're like, oh man, that dish was so good, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, if we're comparing this to food, this is like the filet mignon.
Yeah.
Of Star Wars stuff. So yeah, this is great. They've been long episodes, so really appreciate everyone sticking around, listening through them. And we'll be back next week. It'll be a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
As we just cover a movie, and it's actually, might not be that different because it's a 3-hour movie.
That's true.
But it'll be fun to look back and compare this with that movie with what we're getting here.
Yeah.
And I just don't have anything else to say. I mean, I'm sure I do, but we've been podcasting for almost 2.5 hours. So it's just a lot to take in. Yeah. It's a really heavy. It's really sad. I'm just sad to see it over.
Yeah.
I'm excited about like what the future holds for this franchise, and
Me too.
If they can learn something from this show, like if this is truly a once-off like miracle, or if what we're getting next is informed by how powerful this was.
Maybe they can just set a new standard, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, and like obviously movies are coming back, and this is a show.
Yeah,
but as they continue to do television, does this show inform them, or are they defiant in their desire to let this live on its own?
Yeah.
Which is, if that's the case, that's fine. We'll always have it, but we'll, and we'll always have this like amazing through line of the Bad Batch into Andor, to some degree. There's some crossover, but not really much. Into Rogue One, into A New Hope, into all of Star Wars. So it's like, it's just thematically pure in that way, and it's like it warms my belly just to think about like how it all fits together so neatly, like a Lego
Neat
block.
And tidy. Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
On that note, we will leave it there. We'll be back next week with that bonus episode, but until then, as was so beautifully said by Senator Bail Organa, may the Force be with you.